Why should you join the ACG YouTube membership? Listen, it helps the channel. Sure, I could pretend that some company's pre-built PC is awesome, even if it just accidentally happens to be that I got it from them in the last 3 weeks. You don't want that. I could also open up an OnlyFans, which is just me naked eating Uncrustables and rubbing my beard against the mic. No one wants that either, because it'd be terrifying. For $5, you can become a YouTube member. I'd probably save you that by warning you away from Alakine's gun, or maybe Gene Rain, or maybe you watch the reviews. I don't know why, because they suck, but maybe you do. If you join now, we don't have to worry about those things. You also get access to the Patreon when it comes to the Discord. So become a YouTube member now, before I start having to put surprise oral sex looking thumbnails on my reviews. And trust me, no one else wants that. So power up with ACG. Besides, it's for sure better than those POS earbuds YouTubers try to sell you. Sup, everybody? This is Carrick with ACG. I'm here with Silver and Johnny for the best gaming podcast, number 545. Sounded like a number station right there, like one of those Russian number stations. It rubs a lotion on its back. 545. Tabasco,
and speaking of back,
pancakes.
Welcome back.
Yeah, we're back. Yeah, because we missed last week.
Last week, yeah.
So wait a minute. So I didn't do last week's because of the review, and I didn't do.
Well, you did an audio version.
Oh, I did that late night
solo.
One,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, gotcha. I was like, what the hell, man? What the hell? Yeah, I got to get back on those. It's just been a busy week. Yeah, we've had a bunch of stuff, a bunch of news. It's pretty cool. Danowin says that thing in the wheelchair scares the shit out of me. Yes, it was meant to. I don't know why. I love the odd opener to a podcast, so I made that. What's up, chill dog? Yeah, I forgot we missed that one. I don't even remember what I talked about that night. There was something. Oh, gaming names. Jesus, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Should have known that was going to happen, right?
Doggos.
It's literally right on a perfect time, but it still scared me to no end. Man, one of these days, that little heart of mine is just going to fucking burst. Let me close this door here. Guys, shut it. Bye-bye. Anyway, how are you guys been? Did you enjoy your day off? Did you enjoy your extra Friday where you didn't do anything? Did you guys like party? Did you make a bunch of money because you were on the stock
Not at
market?
all. I've been on a journey. I had this like toothache, tooth infection, and it culminated in today getting a canal treatment for like 3 hours this morning.
Mm-hmm.
But it went well, so it's all clean now, and the pain is gone. So
relief, yeah.
Very happy. Yeah, very relieved.
So let's discuss without grotesquing anybody out here. Hey, Sai, shut the fuck up. When it comes to the pain of your tooth, of course it hurt as the pressure builds. Did the operation itself hurt, or did actually it was just the pain and the pressure, and the moment that was relieved, it went away? Did the operation actually alleviate it, or did you have pain in the operation? You don't have to get any deeper than that. It's just a question that pops up a lot.
So high level, it was mostly during the past 2 weeks where it would flare up when I eat or drink. It would be the whole side of my face too, because it's nerves. So it just plugs into everything. That was the worst part by far. And then the operation was just very long. It was like 3 hours. They're cleaning it all up super deep and stuff. They do a good job with the anesthetics, so it doesn't hurt that much. There are some shocks of pain at times, but overall it was fine. It was just very long and super tiring.
Yeah.
But yeah, after it was a big relief, man. So, and plus I've actually had a really good week outside of that. So yeah, everything is good.
Having
actually,
a part of your own bone structure pulled from your body. Other than that, it was fine. Yeah, I always wonder, because you hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, the root canal hurts," but it's like most of the time that's not what hurts. It's what's prior, and then the root canal is like the relief because that pressure goes away. It's not always, of course, but that's why I wanted to ask you how that was. Anything else this week? Why is the week so good? Just work?
Okay, so it is about work. We had the end of year performance reviews, and I had a really high rating from my boss. So. Which
Congrats.
was really, really kind of overwhelming. So I was super happy with that. And thank you, Silver. Yeah, super happy with seeing the recognition there. And then yeah, I gifted myself a new guitar for the occasion. So yeah, I also got a
that's important.
beautiful new.
When you got it, were you expecting good, okay, or did you not know what you were going to get and you just went in and suddenly,
Because where I'm at, it's the expectations are pretty high, so I didn't really expect to
meet but does not exceed
expectation. I expected to meet expectations, do a good job, right? Because I thought I did, but to hear that I exceeded expectations was like amazing, super cool to hear.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah. What about you, Silver? Anything?
I was at a protest Sunday, protesting the mass surveillance initiative that my government is looking to introduce to the European Union for chat monitoring. And yesterday I was left pretty much on my own because of illnesses with the refugee center with the kids I'm tutoring there. So that was interesting.
You mean you got
I had to do
sick?
it by myself.
Or
no, everybody else got sick, so I was left alone to handle all the kids myself. Yeah,
gotcha.
Like tutoring them all on my own.
Well, you guys doing some crazy shit out there, man. Crazy shit. I put some socks on. They were pretty good socks. That's it.
That's the highlight right there.
Woke up the next day, as always. I was telling Solar, I think, a couple days ago that like I'll just wake up with my left sock always missing, and I can never find it. And then like a day later, I've obviously pulled it off with my feet, like, and it falls at the bottom of the bed. And I have no clue what it is with the left foot, but I woke up with both my socks on. So win-win, right? Like that's right. What I take from it. Easily equal to all of your kudos at your job. Like there's your kudos at your job.
Yeah.
Waking up with both socks.
Waking up. Yeah. Yeah, that's
totally equal. Anyway, happy Friday. Hello and happy Friday, Mark Long, $2 super chat. What's up, Mark? Thank you very much for the super chat. We appreciate it, guys. Also, thanks to everybody who checked into the multiple reviews. Yes, I do reviews still. It was nice to sort of test out the new, what do you call it? The new plan, the way I do reviews now. And to see if it did offer some efficiencies, and it offered some hellacious ones, which is really cool, which is a weird word. Hellacious, probably not proper usage of that, but I'm going to use it anyway. Hellacious.
But it's a good one. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, sometimes you have a good like word of the day.
Yeah.
Like when you
gird.
Like gird was
got a gird.
Powerful.
So yeah, we did, let's see, I did Ghost of Yotei, then Agatha Christie's Death on the Nile, which is way better than I thought. Holy shit, what a breath of fresh air to play that. Silent Hill. I think I did 3 in 3 days, but then they moved one of the embargoes, so it was 3.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see Poirot in video game form.
So, we can talk about that just for a short amount of time, because I know it's not super interesting to anybody, but each one of the detectives in all the detective novels have their little shtick and their weaknesses, or at least their quirks that make them worth watching. He is, to me, in game form, the least interesting in game form. I'm not saying in book form. Obviously, he's part of the classics, but like, I don't know, man. I really liked this because of that. It sounds so backwards to say that, but it was really nice to play a game that didn't have Sherlock being quirky. I'm quirky Sherlock. I'm fucking Cumberbatch or whatever, And it's like, I've got a heroin addiction. It's like, yeah, we get it. People have those. Can we just fucking show the puzzles, man? Can we like have the player play the game and not have to watch, some Troy Baker wannabe out there misacting through the entire, game? And instead, that's what they did. They were like, okay, we are going to do that. They had a secondary character, very laid back character. They're both out there trying to do a job, solve a puzzle. The puzzles are fun. Some are added on from little snippets from the book itself, like little mentions of like, oh, he worked on this case, or, little stuff like that. You have this side character, does fine. And, he looks a little bit like, a guy you wouldn't want within 200 feet of a school. I mean, he definitely has a weird look to him in the game because it's got that cel shaded, I guess.
Yeah, at least it's not as weird as Kenneth Branagh.
No, no, it's not. You mean in the movies? Yeah, no shit. Now that I think about it, they stepped it up. They were like, man, we need to shine on this guy. We need to give him a glow up. No, it was a great game. Great puzzles, super fun, really good acting for the most part, and one of the best 3D reconstructions of a scene ever. And I think that all like murder mystery or mystery games with crime scenes need to do it, because it's fantastic. The ending basically has these time blocks like 10:10, 10:20, 10:30, 10:40, 10:50, 11, that kind of thing. And you put people in spots within the game world to where you've figured out where they would be at that particular time. And even the very first mission, I was like, I got it. I know what happened. And I did. But when I put it together, I finally realized why some characters were saying certain things. They're like, it's very odd that blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay, it's odd. It is odd. Somebody died, so everything's odd. Really? And then when you put it together, you're like, oh, shit, it is odd because this character's here. That character's way over there. There's no fucking chance like that happened, even though I was already on that track. Yeah, it was. I just hope they all do it. It's a fun game. It's a hard time to release a detective game, though, guys. The competition is like, I mean, it's
gotten pretty fierce.
Yeah. So yeah, there was that, and then Ghost of Yotei. I mean, dude, what can I say? It's like it's a ghost game.
It's a ghost. Yeah,
it's a ghost game, and better combat in many ways. Couple flubs here or there, but I mean, there's two sides of it. Like the people who come into it who played the original are gonna pretty much understand where the world is and how it generally feels and move on. And then the people who, the other side of it, will basically go in and have what I consider to be a visually probably easier to parse combat system than the original. But that's not because the original wasn't bad or anything. It's just it was new, and watching the stances made your head, there were some people who just weren't accustomed to that kind of stuff. Here, you see a long pole, you know how to dodge it, and you know what to martial art that you want to switch to. And you don't have to if you don't want to. It is harder to kill them. They were trying to say it's not bullshit because each one of the weapons has a very particular strength against the others. The one great thing about this, guys, that is the magic of this game. So if you have a katana in your center, and then you've got like the chain, or over here you have the spear, or you have the odachi, each one of those has a particular strength, technically really just a strength against one weapon, and then they're sort of not great against everything else. What's awesome about this is it elevates the katana part a great deal. And the reason why is when you do switch to a katana, it's like, The Last Samurai. Shit slows way down. Because you're there going, you're hitting 15 guys, and then you switch to the katana because there's another guy with a katana, and flat out, that dude's probably going to block a good number of your attacks or parry you a good number of times. So suddenly you're like, do I feint? Do I wait for him to attack? Do I blah, blah, blah? And then you got guys coming in on each side, It's just, I mean, it really works quite well in that way. Character was fine. Story's definitely not. It's just a revenge story, right? It's like, yeah. I mean, it's a cool starting, very cool starting to a revenge story, very like Kill Bill, that the starting with the wedding in Kill Bill. It's very much leave somebody for dead. Better make sure to stab them. And then I love how that's reflected in the history of, or the game. So in this game, there's a lot of guys you can hit and leave to crawl around. And I got to tell you, I don't know if this was on purpose, but because of the starting where they left me, I saw those guys and I was like, no,
let's kill that guy.
Yeah, I was like, what happens? So then I would inch along and I would like walk with them, and they'd crawl towards like horses and shit. And I was like, nah, I don't think so, man. Like that seemed, not Nemesis system, obviously. It's not, it was in my brain. It's all fiction. But I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I got to stab him. The other cool thing, kicking up the weapons and throwing them instantly into other people's faces is great. There's some other stuff I can't talk about when it comes to people that you join up with. Nothing like, Jin doesn't fucking teleport into this game. It's not. Right. That's not what I'm talking about. But which were very cool. And once again, one of the most beautiful games ever made. That just
damn. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That could be an interesting way to literally make it a ghost story, though. Jinrid coming back. Yeah.
yeah. I did want to point that out though, because like there's some stuff we're not able to talk about, and it's not like that kind of shit. But whenever you say you're not able to talk about something, it's usually either tech and people are all mad and think it's like performance issues or something, or it's some story beat. And I'm like, want to make sure that I like keep that open and that people don't assume that's what I mean. Super chat SBZ. Let me move this. He says, Carrick, thank you for SHF. Silent Hill F and Yote reviews. OFC, the Yote, the comment section is wild as expected in game. Do you draw a line when it comes to separating art and artist, or do you play them all? What's going on with Ghost of Yotei? What's the problem? What's the problem with Ghost of Yotei this time? Jesus, there's a problem. Because female?
Is it? Okay.
Dude, I legit cannot track anymore. All of the what do you call it? The outrages anymore. So if that's what you're talking about, which I have seen, but I don't really look at any of the, I mean, I look at the comments, but I just, if somebody's like, I blah, 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 and you can tell from the start of the comment that they're bitching about something, I'm just like, anyway, and I go to the next one, because, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. So if it's about like a female being in it, don't care. If it's about, Charlie Kirk death.
Oh, apparently one of the devs.
Oh, right. Dude, I forgot all about that.
Made a comment about.
They were fired. They were fired.
Charlie Kirk.
Dude, I don't burn my fucking house down because there's ants inside. Like, how fucking stupid would that be? I'm not going to stop from like liking that game because one person said something that was absolutely idiotic. Yeah. Might as well just fucking nuke your entire sidewalk because he got some grass on there. That's pretty fucking stupid. But no, I don't really worry about that stuff because, number one, I won't know it, and I also won't know what makes everybody mad. If you got 10 of us in a group and 10 of us have different moral whatevers, we could all be mad at a different thing in a game, and I have to choose for me.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what the fuck am I doing? I might as well just say, what do you think I should review this game score as? I mean, we already have that with somebody saying that I hated Zelda, so, But yeah, that does suck to, I don't think celebrating anybody's death is like a thing, like
right.
I just can't, even we were talking about it in the Discord, even a dictator or whatever, it's like, Hitler fantasy, going back in time, killing Hitler, blah, blah, blah. And
yeah,
like,
we should talk about killing baby Hitler sometime as a moral quandary.
As a moral quandary. You and I talked about that years ago. I feel like we have actually discussed like what would be the quandaries of going back, because it wouldn't be Hitler. It would be like, child Hitler.
Right. Yeah.
There's a video of it, like what happened to Gaddafi.
Or Saddam Hussein, right? Like any of that kind of stuff.
Hussein was hung, which wasn't quite as brutal.
I mean, dude, I personally feel like hanging is really brutal, especially when a bunch of people throw you off.
It's
pretty rough.
It is for sure.
I don't know, but anyway, long story short, no, it's no, I don't really choose on that. I will say if something hit me, I'm trying to think of what would hit me. If something hit me, I'll tell you.
If something offended you personally, maybe.
You know what offended the fuck out of me and why, I didn't review it with the code was Cyberpunk. So yes, there are times where I'll like look at somebody lying at the industry and all that kind of stuff, but wasn't aware of this one. I was aware of that, but I had thought that they had been fired right away, which to me is actually a return of status quo. Meaning if a company fires somebody for something egregious like that, then I'm like, okay, that's actually the step.
Yeah, they reacted like they corrected for that in some way.
Yeah, that seems to be the step that seems to be probably the best is, I don't want to fire any, like we've joked about this or talked about it. Like in the old days, they'd be like, you fire somebody if even one bad thing happens, you're losing all the institutional knowledge. But it depends on what that person says, And
True. And there's some lines.
It's all up to them. So, but back to games and game reviews. So so we did that. And then Silent Hill F, man, I'm talking to a bunch of people who are playing it. They all seem to be loving it. Japanese schoolgirl simulator. It is what it is. It's off kilter compared to the others.
It is funny because we talked about the dodge in the game. And I felt the dodge in the prior one, Silent Hill 2 remake, was terrible because you often would still get hit by it. It was a minimal, movement you could do. It was pretty frustrating. And in this one, I told you, like, watching your footage, it looked like the schoolgirl had a way better dodge than, the guy did. But you said, listen, she's still a schoolgirl. So it's still not the most amazing movement out.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Silent Hill too, right? You guys know this. You've done Resident Evil. You've done Silent Hill games. They control like dog shit. They control from an older day, back in the day where an analog was really just translated to the digital northeast, south, and west. They just didn't control the greatest. Silent Hill doesn't either. There are times where the combat stepped up, and that's great. But overall, it doesn't control the greatest. It controls like a horror game. I'm sure they use some of that to crutch you a little bit, make you feel like it's scarier. If you can't get that 103-pound waif through a window as quick as you want, then it's scarier. I can see that. But I don't know about you guys. It takes a lot to like get me. I think this one's soundscape is what got me the most. Not the design of the enemies, which were fine. It was like some pogo stick fucking running ass piece of shit scarecrow in the grass that would run faster when I wasn't looking. And you could hear it be like, as I was moving through, and I was just like, you get that, like the thing up the back, your back, almost like goose, like what do you call them? Goosebumps. And then the other thing, and then the other thing was, because it's returning to form, but not returning to form. It's getting away from what it was originally, or it got away from what it was originally, going back to, and really it's going to a different thing completely. It just felt good to switch it up, man. I'm really tired of the fucking steamy ass streets, exploring the same place, or exploring some Midwest town. This is a completely different style of story. And for what it's worth, I think that helped a good deal. Are you guys, either one of you guys getting Silent Hill?
No
Silent Hill for you guys.
I think it's a good like spooky game for October. So depending on where Resident Evil 9 lands, I'll pick up, either one. Those are kind of my top 2 or 3.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm happy to see him do well. I mean, all those games performed really well too. When Silent Hill had some issues with FPS a little bit more than Ghost, but what games are you guys getting this week or in the next 2 weeks? Are there any games on your list, like any high ups?
Yeah, it's actually difficult to, as Silver always says.
Hades 2 probably.
Yeah, Hades 2 for sure.
Not that it's
I got that.
Full release.
And looks good. You got that already, Johnny?
Yeah, I got that locked in. And, I've been playing Borderlands, Ghost. When that drops, I'll also pick it up.
I think for me...
And, Dying Light is just a lot of games, really.
Yeah, Dying Light's
right now
up there. Dying Light, the Beast is up there. Got really good reviews. Yeah, dude, and I looked at the next coming 2 weeks, and I was like, oh, my God. And that's aside from even the October video. It's just crazy. Bows says, I just bought Hell Is Us and TW Warhammer 3, Total War. Yeah, and the thing about Hell Is Us is that's a rough one, too. Horror games have completely exploded. It's so weird, and it's not just October, but it is fairly crazy how quickly horror games, they come in bursts kind of thing. But it's like, boom, we got a bunch of horror games. I mean, shit, they even showed Halloween at the trailer, at the event.
Just a quick tip for you. You might want to hold off a little bit on Warhammer 3 because it's the campaign, the Immortal Empires campaign is kind of broken at the moment from the latest patch.
Right. What way is it broken? Like, what's it? Like, what do you notice?
There are 2 factions in the game, the Lizardmen and the Tomb King, where the AI is basically unable to recruit units. Yeah.
Just at all?
Yeah.
Hey,
Damn.
maybe people should get the game.
They can't really do anything.
If you find the game difficult, I think it was Amutski was saying that game might have been too much for him. Amutski, it's your time to shine, man. The characters can't get any help. It's your time to shine, guys. Get in there and get your platinums as soon as possible, or whatever your achievements on Steam for wiping the enemy's asses. That's awesome, and that's just the new update that did this. Like that's just the new. Wow, interesting.
Yeah, because they reworked the Lizardmen and the Tomb Kings with the last patch, and at first they broke the Lizardmen, and then the latest patch they made where they tried to fix the Lizardmen, they didn't quite manage to fix the Lizardmen, and they broke the Tomb Kings. So,
good times, man. Good times. Hey, they're out there. They're trying. Sometimes, your best, frankly, should be kept to yourself.
Sometimes you eat the bar, and sometimes the bar eats you.
Yeah, and that's what happened this time. So if you guys want to do well in a game and feel good about yourself, now's the time to go and purchase that game. I would love it if we went and looked at sales and they skyrocketed because everybody's like, oh, thank God. Oh, that's awesome. Let's see. What else do we got here? Looking at some of the chats. What are people playing? What's up, Anti-Sky? Go figure. A few times I can catch the pod live and I'm late. This is Strider. Well, you're not too late. Not much has been said. Dude, you could pop in at any time and really, you've wasted nothing. Or missed nothing. Missed nothing, right? You might have wasted your life, but you missed nothing. Chill Dog says, definitely Yote. Blaze says, a root canal takes out the nerve in the tooth. Yes, correct. Root canal. That is exactly it. Heart surgery is surgery on a heart. Okay, I'm just joking. I'm not being a dick on purpose. I'm totally teasing. Bowser says, more sassy Carrick, please. I guess this is the way it's going to go today. I have no clue. Yoda sounds like Blue Eye Samurai, the game. Blue Eye Samurai.
That was a Netflix animated show that was kind of westernized and for mature publics a little bit. But a good one.
Carrick, your comment section in the game is nuts. It's funny not to argue that. I'm sure it may feel like that, but something that has occurred to me in the last couple years and something that I see almost daily is that where somebody will say something is nuts or, oh my God, you wouldn't believe what's going on here. Notoriously, when I go, I'm like, oh, well, that's like legitimately nothing. In the scheme of things, like people will say, oh, it's absolutely terrible. I think Shadows had 30,000 downvotes because the YouTube bots, because some people were downvoting it. This one's probably not that bad. I don't know. There's probably a downvote bot or a downvote vote like bot war in there. But other than that, people are, it's a comment section, right? You can't control it. That's what they should do. They should talk about stuff in there. If they're mad about it, they should be able to say it. As long as they're not dicks to each other, that's the problem, right? It's like you're mad about a subject, so you get pissy with another person. Seems pretty stupid. Can you guys imagine if you came in and Johnny, you were like, fucking Carrick, shut the fuck up, man. I had a root canal. I'd be like, I had nothing to do with your root canal. What are we talking about right now? It would never happen. I would be so mad if it did. I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? But it's completely normal on the internet. How about learning and just trying to be better? I mean, how about it? Sully, $10 super chat. Destruction Sim is my life right now. That game looks wicked, man. Destruction, Construction, the Sim games are exploding. It's awesome. Powder Cake says Doug Bowser resigned. Did you guys see that from Nintendo? The guy whose name is a character from the game, he retired. Yeah. Hey, it's time, man. Like, no reason for those guys to stick around for too long.
Yeah, I mean, he's been there for quite a while now.
Yeah, very much so. And he's no Howard Lincoln. I'm just joking. Come on.
Or Reggie.
Or yeah, come on. Let's see. Remnant 2. People are playing Remnant 2. Oh, wow. Okay. Dying Like the Beast. Somebody's playing Trails in the Sky.
Yeah. Nice.
Watching some Dexter. All around some just stretchy things here. Everybody's playing a little something different. Skate and Age of Wonders 4. My man, Age of Wonders 4 is a rockin'. That game is so good. So good. Glad to see somebody actually playing it. And again, thanks for the super chats. You can also become a subscriber. Join them more than, I think we have 300 more people this month than we did the month prior. YouTube members, Discord people, some people who are subscribed to my Only Beards. So anyway, yeah. So if you want to join what apparently is a pretty cool place for people, you can come and do it. Come by, talk games, enjoy yourselves. Let's speak of enjoyment here for a little bit. So I was looking through all of the stuff Sony showed at their event. Now, I didn't like the event too much. I thought it was sort of boring, such is life. No big deal. But I do want to talk about two. First, let's talk about Housemarque's game. That's Saros or Saros. So we'll call it Returnal 2, the returning. I think it looks awesome. I think it also looks very much like they knew the first one was hard, because magically you now have a shield at all times that you can like enact. I'm like, all right. It looked slower. Not a great deal slower. I'm just saying, looked a little slower than the original game. And it looked good to me. I don't know. They know their shit, right? Like, yeah. Did you see some of the bosses and just some of this, like, that's putting that shield up, leaping over the ring of bullets coming at him, then moving to the side? It all looked slick. Seemed like it was a good look. Anything about it you liked in particular?
I think the look is amazing. That it was already for Returnal, but they got a bit more bling. And overall, the movement is fantastic, right? In their games so far. So I'm really happy to see that. It looked like the aiming was really smooth. And that shield thing is cool because it's like a short duration. It's like a second, right? That you put it on. So you have to use it kind of strategically to maybe bypass a shot or like, make it through a laser or whatever with that. And it's almost like an additional dash. So you can kind of, you can dodge some stuff with the dash and the iframes. And then you have almost like a second version of that with the shield that you can balance.
The one thing I did find funny is, remember in the 360 day, there was the era of the blue and yellow games where like the titles of games would be blue and yellow. It's such a big deal. And then Returnal blue, and then this game booted up and it's all yellow. And I was like,
it's all yellow.
Wow. I wonder if that's subconscious or like has to do like, it's probably nothing, but it was an interesting thing when Returnal is known for that blue and that particular color.
Yeah.
And then you jump in, you're like, it's sort of cool. You could 2 for 1 when they sell this in the combined, in the anniversary edition in 2 years. It won't even be in the anniversary, but they'll still
like
sell
Pokemon
it
Blue, Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. I've got it up here on video right now.
Yeah.
But it really is Returnal, right? With a guy.
Yeah, it's Returnal.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it just is. I'm sure Saros will have something to do with sorrow. It'll be like some sad story of, he'll find out. I don't know. Like he's a living cell inside a fucking giant body fighting off AIDS or something. Like they're always trying to do that weird inner meta with their games, but I don't care about those usually. I just like the gameplay.
No, I agree. You got some cool bits for like sci-fi beats
Very
in the
much
original,
so. Yeah.
but you wouldn't get into that game for the story.
No.
At all. It's just, bits here and there.
Yeah, definitely. But looking here, graphically it looks good. There's a lot of overswing I've noticed on the person playing with the mouse, the gamepad. There's like this overswing. They keep correcting and recorrecting. So I want to see it like when somebody sort of gets dialed in. But yeah, it looks good. Dude, they know their particle effects and shit like that. Like there's something, so they've got that sci-fi look.
Yeah.
So nailed down.
And I'm wondering, just looking at the footage, if they're dialing up the amount that's on screen, projectiles coming at you, different things going on, because you have the shield. They're now balancing around that, right? So that also means maybe it's harder in that sense. Just more stuff being thrown.
I think this goes directly to the rumors that they are making a game that is, it is a good deal.
More accessible.
Yeah, more accessible. Easier. Yeah. I'm sure you can turn it up, right?
Sure.
You'll be able to dial it to 11. Yeah. That's exactly what should happen. I think Returnal was great. No need to turn it down in that game. But if you're making a new game and you've got some build there, got some idea on what people find difficult, hell yeah, put some adjustments on there. But yeah, a lot of like over the top particle effects I'm watching right now. It looks spectacular. So
yeah.
Let me really, like, if the world loved us as humans, this type of gameplay would be what Mass Effect 4's combat was like. Can you imagine? What? It's just not going to happen, probably because there's too big of a gulf there in skill between the narrative and the physical, and they don't want that long talk to turn into this insanely difficult fight. But I do like this. It looks a little like Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. I mean, a billion times better. But I'm just saying, I see a little bit of an overlap there. It would be very cool. Can you imagine that if somebody was like, yeah we're going to have all the trappings.
You could marry the two. Big story with big gameplay.
Yeah. Did you like Returnal, Silver? Did you do the return? Did you join the Returnal hunt?
I played it a little bit, but didn't really vibe with the movement controls, the way the character moved.
Yeah. I think that was one of the major complaints. Some people loved it, and those who didn't really seemed to dislike it. Like, it wasn't just a general, it's not for me. It was like, damn, I ain't digging this. So Chris says, missed you guys last week. Well, just so you know, there was still a, what do you call it? A mini verbal only podcast that happened
solo
Friday night. Yeah. Got screwed up too. God, it made me mad, man. Made me mad. I uploaded it, and Anchor does a thing where they go in and they'll like chop it up for their commercials. And when they chop it up, then they recombine it, and it got recombined. It was missing. It was like, listen to my original
saw that.
Going,
yeah.
What the fuck?
That's so weird.
So I had to just turn it off. Yeah, I hate that shit. I always get screwed with that kind of stuff. Chris says, ACG, do you think it will also be easier because they talked about how come back stronger, which makes me think you get a buff after you die? Fuck, I would love that. Yeah. I like the idea. Instead of like, hey, so most games lately have been like, hey, you're gonna just have your underwear after you die, right? Everything's harder. It's like, Merry
lose
Christmas,
everything.
World's harder, you lose everything. So old games in the past would be neutral sometimes. I don't think we've seen a lot of games that give you a buff. I'm sure it's happened. I'm just not thinking of them. So I would love to have a game that, gave you a buff.
We've mostly seen is games that go, don't you want to turn down the difficulty?
Oh, yeah.
when you die.
Hey, man, I've had it.
Buff you that way.
I've had it pop up where it's like a parent talking to you about swimming at the deep end of the pool. And they're like, listen, Eric, you swim like a turd. It's not going to work out. So you need to go to the short end or you're going to drown, and the lifeguards just have refused to stop saving you. So we'll just have to see how this works out. I like the idea. Will it give you the ability to save? Damn good question. Probably not. I think they like their soul shard, like imprint,
Isn't that like part of the game's like identity?
I would say. I think so. I don't remember.
They did add the possibility for you to quit mid and come back to where you were.
They offered, and it was quit it was like level by level, right? Or something like that. It wasn't like you can quit at any time, was it? I feel like
I'm not sure. There was something for sure they added for that. Yeah.
You can quit, but you'll have no arms. And you're like, wait, what? You can quit and we'll remove a body part every time you quit and come back, but you can. You're like, damn, man. That would actually
Are you sure you want to take that pee?
That would honestly be the fucking coolest. Yeah, are you sure? His thing where it's like, should you turn the difficulty down? It's like, do you really need to go pee right now? And you're like, okay, you're right. You're right. I don't. And then pretty soon you're like, I'm just going to pee on the floor. Fuck it. I can't leave this game. Great game, though. Catchy. I'm glad people enjoy it. Manual, 500 DOP, super chat. What's up, Manual? Sup, guys? Have a good weekend. How does Yote compare to Shadows in terms of graphics only? Thanks for the pod. First of all, thank you for giving me some context. The number of people I've had to say, can you compare and contrast Shadows versus Ghost of Yotei? And I'm all, in what, I mean,
yeah,
that's
what dimension,
watch the review. Like, there's so much stuff. So in terms of graphics only, Shadows is stunningly gorgeous and surprised the shit out of me. Yote is particle heavy, and where one is like pretty much here's what Japan would be like with a bit of a glossy filter in Shadows, where it's not too over the top. It's a little over the top. Ghost is way over the top. I mean, Ghost is like every single tree, flower, bush. I mean, it's like, what's the pollen count today? All.
Yeah, right. Shadows also has the changing seasons.
Yeah, and it's got a daytime thing that seemed day-night that sort of happens while you're talking to some people. Sometimes it just sort of like fades. I think sometimes that was clouds getting in the way of the sun, though, in a couple of my scenes where I was talking to people. I would say Ghost is fantastic looking, but there are times where I was playing Shadows where the excellence of its graphics crept up on me, and I sort of dig that more. Instead of, it's like the 10 with the 5 attitude or the 8 with the 7 attitude. That's pretty fucking aligned for me. I sort of dig that. In Shadows, there were times where I was playing it going, God damn, that game looks really good. Also, this is the first one, guys, I can honestly say this. I'm not saying shortcuts, but Ghost definitely has a couple things that I was surprised about. Like, without any spoilers, there's a couple times where you learn martial arts or you learn something and you train, and then it's like, okay, you need to fight the main guys. And you're like, okay, cool. Like we've seen in every game. You learn your block, you learn your parry, you learn your swings, boom, you fight 3 guys now instead of 1, right? That's like, and you pass. This just cut. And they were down. And it was like, good job. And I was all, good job who? I didn't do anything. It was really weird, and it felt like, it didn't feel like a cut, like we don't have the money. It felt like almost a time thing. And it wasn't everywhere. It was just in a couple spots, but it was noticeable. And there's a couple times where I noticed that in, I would say, this game versus the original, which was really well cut and edited to be like a movie. This one is more of an open world game. Yeah. And as I said in the review, this one hits closer to the games that its older brother was consistently compared favorably to. It does hit a little closer to those games. There are some times where you're like, That being said, combat's wicked fun and huge, as they say. There's a couple fights in there, huge fights, where I was like, I don't know how to even go about fighting when everybody's got a different weapon and there's 6 of each type, and you're just like, switches, and then they kick your sword out of your hand, and you're like, you son of a bitch, and then you kick their sword out of their hand. And I love that they'll kick your sword out of your hand, and then they'll yell at one another. Now, this is like Fate. There's a little cheat here. They'll kick the weapon out of your hand, and then they'll be like, don't let her get back. Don't let her pick that weapon up. And I love the communication, like Fear, where they're like, flank right. Right? They were already flanking right. The game was smart, though, and just told the other NPC to say it out loud, and it felt real. That's what Ghost does. It's very cool in that way. I liked that. How does the combat play now compared to rock, paper, scissors? So what it is each weapon that you face has basically, other than the katana, has a weakness to another weapon, or you're able to get in there a little bit quicker. Does it make sense? No. Would 2 smaller katanas make you magically faster than a guy, with a spear who can poke you, which a poke is going to be faster than a slice? No, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. It works graphically, plays well. It's fine. It's fine. Rock, paper, scissors is gone, which I love. Best part about it. How long until it releases on PC? Anybody know how long?
I would guess a year.
1 year, right? I think.
Yeah. We don't know, but that would be my assumption.
Yeah. And guys, does that game look good? Son of a bitch. I know I hear this a lot where, what's up, Snugs? How you doing? It's been nice seeing you in chat recently, too. I've been seeing the occasional time. I'm not saying this is wrong, but I've been seeing the occasional time where people are like, I feel like this gen, there hasn't been anything blank, big, surprising, epic, whatever. I do. I think the big thing is not one thing. That's the problem. It's not one game. Yeah. That's what gamers have always wanted.
The bar is just very high,
The bar is high, and you have to realign. By the way, in no way, shape, or form am I saying all games are good. I'm saying that I feel like when I look at this game, and I look at the other Ghosts, and I look at Shadows, Ubisoft, which has had troubles in the past with performance, optimizations, what have you, and I look at these, and I'm like, you know what? Damn. Like, that's a console that's, before the price increases, was a good saving compared to the PCs. Maybe not so much now, but was a good saving compared to the PCs. Do you guys think Sony will even start releasing games day one? At some point.
On PC? No.
I do.
Do you?
I do. Not
like
every, not, oh, by the way, not this, Silver, not this style of game, but they're Helldivers, any of those kind of games, which they have got 6 in the making.
Maybe.
Those,
The
for
online.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just makes sense, right? Just do it,
Yeah, for sure, that makes sense.
Listen, man, we're gonna have to people are gonna just have to realign their shit, everything's changed.
On the other hand, I mean, the Helldivers, like grace period has been tremendously successful for them. So
that's true. Very true. Yeah, very true. That game is one of a kind. I don't even like it. I mean, I don't dislike it, but it's one of a kind.
I've been playing it. It's pretty much been my main game the last couple of weeks, and I'm sorry to say, like the current state of it is just technically it's a complete mess.
Yeah,
complete mess. It's one of the worst technical messes I can remember in a very, very long time.
Yeah, it's a shitter. You're not the only one saying it.
Lots of people are getting crashes. I'm thankfully not really, but I am getting at times major stuttering issues and not just like stuttering, but where the game will freeze for like 5 to 10 seconds.
Bam. You're dead in some missions.
You're dead. Yeah.
Actually, for some weird reason, I am not. I am not.
Almost like they're not letting you get hit in some way. Like
almost.
A rollback. Oh, I guess. Okay. Well, that's better than nothing.
But yeah, it's pretty disruptive, especially because at times it feels like it happens when it gets really bad, it happens like every 20 seconds. So it becomes nearly unplayable in some instances. There was one planet in particular where it was really, really bad for a period. So I don't know what's going on there with their technical debt accruing, but they need to sort it out.
Yeah,
I think the reason reviews have recently turned negative on Steam. You'll actually see a lot of reporting that the game's Steam rating has turned negative. That's not true. The overall Steam rating is still very positive. It's the recent reviews that have turned negative.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I'm really happy to see it doing well. I would like to see those tech issues be cleared up because the game is just, like. It is. It's one of a kind. The setup's one of a kind. The idea is one of a kind. They need to get on that. They need to make sure. I would even go so far as to say, let's not roll out as many updates because we seem to be breaking shit. Let's get this in a workable state until people start complaining that we don't have new stuff, and then we'll release the stuff we have ready. But
the thing that also exacerbated a lot of people's frustrations was that they were basically radio silent for like the last month to month and a half, I think basically since their last big update. So that's really, and when you couple that with a lot of the mounting technical frustrations afterwards, that's been sort of an ugly combination for the game and the communities.
Yeah.
In the interim.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Moving on from that discussion for a second. So anyway, are there more game reviews coming? Yeah, a bunch. I should be much more fluid on getting these out. And but if I don't get code, I can't review. Or if I get code and the game doesn't work, I can't review. Case in point, I still can't run Metal Gear Solid.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it just got a major patch.
I know. And so it just got a major attempt to run it. And it still does not like my PC. It's the first game I've really had this experience with that I can remember. It crashes so fast. And so often I can't even get to the save point before it's just like,
right.
And so I did get code for it, did attempt to review it, absolutely could not. People were asking me why I didn't review Chronos. Would have loved to. Code was way late by the time they gave it to me. I was already onto the other thing. Same thing with the Beast. I did the preview. This is the difficulty of previews, and I knew I should have watched for this, but it seems to happen a lot where if you get the preview code, I think they hedge a little bit. And they maybe are like, let's not double up necessarily, especially for a channel like mine where I'm not 15 million like IGN. Just guessing here, but this is a pattern that seems to happen a lot. So definitely reviewing stuff. You'll be seeing more stuff. Got code right now. Got a bunch of previews. I would really love for people who watch the channel to also go hit unsubscribe and then hit subscribe again and hit all, because I had somebody tell me they still aren't getting anything. And it just feels like maybe I was doing shit you didn't like, disappeared for a little while. But luckily, the heart attack, it only put me down for like a day. I'm still here. Strevin, the recent content drops have been incredible. A shame about the technical state. Yeah, very much. SBZ says, yeah, HD2 state is awful. The game review is back to mediocre. Lucitan, good afternoon. What's up, Lucitan? Hope you're doing well. So, moving on from there. Let's
the state of play.
That's what I was. Yeah. Well, let's just cover it as a whole thing. How about this? So we did Saros. We're going to do Wolverine. Is there anything else in the state of play? The speakers, any of the other
there
games?
was a game actually that I did not anticipate.
What was that?
Getting that excited about the Dynasty Warriors 3 remaster. That looked really, really impressive to me.
Did it?
Yeah.
I don't even think I saw it. I had to watch it piecemeal, so I don't think I got to see it. Total remaster, Unreal 2 to Unreal 5 or 6.
I'm not sure what engine they've upgraded to or whatever, but it looks phenomenal to me. Absolutely.
Excellent. When's the original? What's the time frame release? 20 years ago? 10 years ago?
Oh, more. I think it would have been maybe 2003, I want to say. Dynasty Warriors 3 was the first Dynasty Warriors game I ever played, actually.
Shit. Okay, cool. When's that coming out? Next year, I assume, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, if we didn't.
The first one was in 97.
Oh, 97. Yeah, it was that far back. Yeah.
Dude. It's crazy. It's crazy we're getting some of those remakes. We'll also talk about another game that got unannounced for a remaster remake that maybe didn't impress as much. Tarkus says, thanks for the review on Silent Hill F ACG. Always super informative. Thank you very much. And no, I think I know what F stands for. Female, I guess. I don't know. Small Asian female.
No, it was 2001. Sorry. Dynasty Warriors 3.
Dynasty Warriors 3.
Yeah, because it was PlayStation 2. I got really confused now because PlayStation 2 did not go back to.
No, I was talking about the original.
I think he's talking about the OG.
Yeah. Oh, the original Dynasty Warriors.
The SNES style games. Yeah. Those ancient ass ones. Blaze says we got some Crimson Desert and release data. Yeah, we did. We also got. Did they show Forza in that event? They showed Microsoft Flight Sim.
No, I don't think they haven't shown Forza yet.
Forza was at the Tokyo Game Show. That's what it was. And Microsoft this morning announced that, yes, it is not coming out on PlayStation 5 day and date. It will be delayed. You're still going to see that from both companies. A little bit of a holdback. Lucas says unsubscribed and subscribed again. Yeah, it's just the way it is. I don't really know what's going on there. Daydream says, you guys talk about the new leaders coming to Nintendo. We did. I mean, not really like as if it changes much, but we did. Yeah, we talked about Bowser leaving. I don't know much about the new guy. I'll do some study on him, look it up, try to figure out. Oh, AP says F is for 5, 5th installment. Dude, it's the 18th Silent Hill game. It feels like. I'm just joking. It's not, but it feels like. I feel like it can't be the 5th. Maybe it is. I don't know. That's weird. Kigoruse, $5 super chat. Hope everyone has a great weekend and amazing week now. Time for my birthday weekend. Oh God, he's hunting for birthday wishes. Well, you're not getting any? Just joking. You guys are singing we're not singing you happy birthday. But yeah, happy birthday whenever that happens. I'm glad we're
I'm happy we closed the door to that.
Let's politely
close the door to
politely push him outside and slide that door shut and be like, celebrate elsewhere, my friend. I'm just joking. He hasn't got to the age to where you don't celebrate birthdays because you're afraid they're getting closer to the end date, your expiration date. He's still out there celebrating them, just like a young tyke. I love it. Chris says, ACG, I don't know the new Nintendo person, but the person is female. Very cool. I was just reading and watching a bunch of interviews with AMD's CEO. And man, she's got that shit going on. I mean, yes, AMD's got their issues, but like, I really do like the thought processes she has, stuff like that. But no, I don't know anything about Nintendo's leadership. We'll have to check it out. We'll have to jump in there and look. So state of play. So we got that. We have Neo 3 was shown a little bit more, or Neo 3, right? Yeah, Neo 3 was shown.
Yeah.
Bad showcase, by the way. I didn't see anything.
I agree as well.
And sorry, go on.
No, I just saying I agree with you.
I agree with you too. You go. You become the fire that
Take it
has
away.
to carry this anger forward. I'm sorry. Neo 3 looks rough
I was
as
disappointed.
shit. Yeah. And I got shit last time for saying that I thought the trailer looked really weird the very first time we saw it. I was like, that's odd. That looks really jank. I thought, this is not a lie, when they showed Neo 3 at the event, I thought it was a Kingdom, like a Dynasty Warriors game for a great deal of time. But character models. Now, has Neo ever been like, top tier? Maybe I'm just remembering Neo 2 wrong. Neo 1 had some issues, but I feel like Neo 2 looked graphically very precise, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But they also didn't pick good,
no, they didn't.
Gameplay segments to show or anything of the sort.
Yeah.
Hardly any gameplay segments.
Yeah, hardly any gameplay. That's why it doesn't mean I'm not gonna play and really like the game. I will probably love the game, but what they showed was just a bit lacking.
Yeah. They also showed did they show Battlefield 6 at that one, or was it a separate?
They did.
They showed some of the campaign for Battlefield 6, which I'm excited for the campaign because, America fuck yeah kind of thing. Like,
sure.
I already know what the multiplayer
Let's blow up
offers.
some stuff.
Let's blow up some stuff and, have some one-liners. Like, I'm all for that. Let's see. Stalker 2 1.6 patch looks great, but I'm still holding out to play. Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, Stalker's still going. Connor says 55 hours into Silksong. Remember that game?
Damn.
That's true. Right. That is true, though. It came and went really quick. I mean, not in a bad way, just in a lot of shit. Coming out. But let's talk about the big, okay. All right. Let's just lay it on the line. We're going to talk about Wolverine, and some of us really like what we saw. Some of us don't. When I say us, I mean me. I love the actor. Love him. He's from Spartacus.
Spartacus, yes.
Yeah.
He looks horrendous as Wolverine. Now, that's just because I'm accustomed to Hugh Jackman, right?
Yeah.
A leaner face, but that dude looked like Popeye. He looked like he had about 30 or 40 pounds of water weight. He had a really bad bender of a weekend and soaked up some water weight, had a Pizza Hut before his filming. That's just because he looks different. It's not like it'll be bad or anything. It's going to take me personally some time to become accustomed to that mug, because I love that guy. Love him. One of the best attitudes.
His voice is great presence.
Yeah.
But I thought the visuals were so different than what we're used to. Yeah. Anything from the facial hair to the hair itself to some of the suit and how things came together. Yeah. That, like you say, it's just going to be a bit jarring.
Yeah.
Until
take a while.
Yeah, we'll take a while.
Yeah. People were really impressed by the gore, which I still don't have any clue why. I let everybody talk. There were some people in chat going, "Oh my God, it's got gore, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, yes, of course. A shit ton of games have gore. Like, why would we not expect a guy with blades? I mean, at this point, I think he would be destroyed. Those guys know what they're doing. They're not going to make a game like that. That company would not make that game.
If you had claws, but it looked like you were just batting people around with
pillow hands,
blunt
wrapped
instruments,
up in duct tape and pillows. Just
would
you please die? Pooh.
Yeah. Kapow.
Yeah, it's fucking, I mean, dude, it's Wolverine. It's the main thing, and he had some.
And he's always been like R-rated, level of.
I just
not always in video games though. But yeah.
Was Origins R? Because I thought Origins was pretty racy, but it's been so long since I played a Wolverine game. Dude.
I don't remember, but I just remember a lot of them where he basically just was a beat 'em up character.
Okay, fair enough. Also, I noticed a lot of the cuts were for arms were robot arms. I think that'll be, won't be a thing. It'll be humans as well, because people are asking, is dismemberment? They showed him chop a guy's head off. If they show him chop a dude's head off, you'll be able to. But it's linear. The game is not open world. It's like Lost Legacy, I guess, for Uncharted, where it's like, here's a spot that you go and fuck up. Like, go there and fuck that place up. So it looks like a nuke went off. Yeah. And then get on your motorbike and drive off. And that, to me, is great, because as an open world game, it would have sucked balls. Can you imagine him on a hog driving around trying to save people, like, you know, who are like getting beat up or whatever? You'd be like, dude, this is his shit. It doesn't. He doesn't even care.
Walk into a coffee shop and destroy some stuff.
Some guys like, you know, puts his hand up to a girl and he kills him because of it. And you're like, okay, well, Wolverine's in jail, so it makes more sense. It's linear. He's going to go, he's going to nuke some places, make sure that the genealogy of that particular area is just cut. You know, in the future, they'll look at it and be like, the great just DNA bottleneck of Colombia or wherever this dude showed up. That'd be cool, man. Like, that's...
Yeah. I mean, the tone is definitely a bit jarring compared to Spider-Man, where there wasn't a ton of, like, super, gory stuff. Not at all. He, he's kind of the goody two shoes guy. Like, oh, sorry, I stepped on your toe, sir.
Yeah, they showed a couple of new bad guys, or
although
not
he
new,
will have
bad guys
verbally.
True.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Spider-Man was a bully. Can you imagine in like back in the cancel days of like 4 or 5 years ago, Spider-Man comes out and people are like, doing skits of like sitting him down and telling him he's not allowed to, tell a criminal he's fat. It's like, dude, he's a criminal. I'm going to say what the fuck I want. Like, sorry. I wonder if Insomniac will change Logan's face like Spider-Man for the remastered edition. Yeah, possibly, but I hope not. I love that guy. He looks goofy as shit. He looks like he's squeezed into a sausage husk into that suit, and I'm all for it. Like, I'll get accustomed to it. But I saw the edges of his face like fattening past apart, and I was like, damn, that looks different. It's just, it'll take a while, I mean, and Hugh Jackman looked different. You watch him in one when he's Hugh Jackman, and then he's Hugh Jackman by the end. And you're like, he's like a rock, where you're all, where did you eat Hugh Jackman and just like take him on? Fucking dude's massive.
If people in chat haven't done this in a while, just Google, the first X-Men movie. Look at Hugh Jackman.
Nuts.
Dude. Yeah.
And we're not talking like, oh, he's cut more. It's like solid mass. Fucking the Rock school of suddenly aging in reverse and getting yoked. So I'm excited for it. We'll just have to see. I think Insomniac's got it. They know what they're doing. They're probably really happy to be able to do another superhero. I would like to see more superheroes. They showed a couple enemies in this one that looked okay. They're not they're not top tier that I know enough about, but the people in chat who know comic books seemed, I think Solar was in there and he was like, okay, that's cool that this character's in there. So I
liked Sentinel. I've always liked the fiction of those. Yeah, the big robot guy.
Yeah, I do too. So, Cobra says Wolverine was supposed to be 5'3". Yeah, funny enough, in the trailer they show that. They show multiple times.
They made him a short king.
He's very short compared to. I mean, he's probably not that short, but he is way shorter than I expected. And in multiple parts of the cutscenes, I was like, he's gonna Tom Cruise it, get up on a little stand to talk down to people. He'll be wearing high heels.
Also fits with the name.
What? Oh, of Wolverine. Yeah, true. Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, look good. They know their shit, man. It felt weird where it was. I feel that entire event was all over the place. It really did feel like they had 2 or 3 things to show, but didn't want to show too much. So they threw all these other titles in. I would have been happy with just Wolverine, Saros, or whatever, Saros, and then, just 1 or 2 others and just let it ride. But they definitely had their anime stuff, which is fine, trying to show a wide, library of titles. But I think Wolverine was definitely the highest. Microsoft Flight Sim, it's crazy. It's like the best looking game of all time, I think, like beyond, it's nuts. So like there's that. And I know a lot of people have been wanting to play it. So yeah, they had some good stuff, man. And then they had some fucking speakers.
I skipped that part entirely, but yeah.
I have not seen that.
Dude, Sony, how somebody's really good at defense in basketball, but they can't shoot a free throw to save their life. Sony's that way with some of their games and then some of their products. You've got the Portal, which you just look at it and you're like, God damn, really? And you get these speakers that look 360, but they're not. They're just concave because that's Sony. They're like, oh, it does this and it does that, and it connects to your devices. And you're like, no shit, Sony. Shit's connected to devices since like 1974. We're past that. Like, you got to start delivering on some actual tech. And they are a tech juggernaut in many ways. I'm quite surprised they haven't tried other new things, especially you have 360 reflectors, which is where the speaker shoots up and it hits a acoustic reflector that reflects the sound out in 360. So you only need one speaker and you don't have to do the round. You've got all these kind of things they could have done. And you're sitting there watching this going like, why is this prior to Wolverine, man? Like, just let me see Wolverine, God damn it. I don't need to see your speakers. But hey, if you want some overpriced speakers,
there you go.
There you go.
I mean, that's nearly every paid speaker, I would almost argue.
Well, I think it's every speaker with a name from a manufacturer that doesn't
branded.
And that their schema really isn't that, like a Sony, or if a Microsoft does something like, you know, they do a memory card and you're like, why is that memory card 7 times more expensive than, you know, any other memory card?
It's got the seal.
It's got the seal of approval.
Yeah.
Just got the notification, so I'm late to the party. Happy Friday, peeps. Sony speakers to use while waiting a year plus for the games to come out on PC. Phil says Sony speakers to use while waiting a year plus for the game to come to PC. Okay. All right. I don't know what you're saying. Just going to say. Dylan says, at least they did not show some sort of pseudo VR system nobody cares about. Nintendo. Yeah. The virtual boy is probably one of the greatest fucking Nintendo things of all time. Hey guys, we got an idea. man, they need at least one Steve at that company.
Just let you build the old virtual boy out of
cardboard or whatever.
Cardboard. Yeah.
They should have. Or they just start releasing games for it and they're like, oh, we're not making a new one. You just need to go to the pawn shop and find your own, bitch. But we're making them. You're like, damn, man, you guys are rough. You guys are throw us a bone. Speaking of bones, or
you said you wanted retroactive playability.
Yeah, yeah. You want your classics?
Yeah.
Fucking here you go.
Here you go. Yeah.
Speaking of bones and boners, we got Xbone releasing the price for the ROG Xbox Ally. ROG Xbox Ally, either $599 or $999. And those, the premium edition, the ROG Ally X, and then I think in other places it's like as high as $1,500 because of all the VATs and the weird shit like that. But
that's a massive difference between those two.
There's a pretty massive difference. Not
tiers.
massive in tech, but it's a pretty big jump in tech between the two. So
okay,
that massive. But I mean, handheld's where it is now. You know, they've got accustomed to that price. It is what it is. So if you're in the mood for $1,000 handheld, there you go. Damn, man,
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's
getting crazy.
Yeah, and with like tariffs going up, shit. You know, it's just like everything's getting more and more expensive all the time. It's just terrible. It sucks, but hey, they announced it. That's really cool. Bunch of games is going to be on there. That'll also be cool. You know, say what you will, but they're meeting a market that there's probably somebody out there who wants one of those. I mean, I like handhelds, but goddamn, that's expensive. Less more 54 says best way to get Discord access. You can be a YouTube member here or at the main channel, or you can join the Discord on Patreon, which is $5. You can jump in. We got some good stuff in there. If you get a chance, come in, man. I mean, secret stuff. We don't like to talk too much about it, but there's a lot of really cool secret shit that goes on in there. Super cool. Dangerously.
Beard streams.
Private shows. Just a beard driving the truck. Punch out Ghoul, $10 super chat. Which feature of upcoming PC handhelds matters more for gaming performance? The AI chip in the Xbox or the extra 8 gigabytes of RAM? Absolutely no question. Without a doubt. There isn't even a comparison. It's the RAM. Without a doubt.
That seems like a big limiting factor.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons why the Microsoft's worked on paring down Windows and use. I think they got it 2 gigs back for VRAM. Absolutely can't. There's not even a discussion. The AI chips are used on 8, count them, 8 apps in the world. 8. Those NPUs I've got one with an NPU in front of me. I'm touching right now. And only 8 programs work with it. It's a complete fucking disaster. So what you care about is RAM, battery life. Battery life.
Yeah.
Pixel Porter says, Wolverine, from what we've seen, does the combat look more Arkham style or Insomniac's own Spider-Man DNA? In which direction would you prefer, especially for finishers? Interesting, because they do have a somewhat different feel for finishers. I just think Batman's are more brutal. Well, I mean, you do throw people off of, I don't know. I think doesn't Spider-Man feel like just Batman 2.0?
Yes,
Okay.
it does to me, for sure. Especially with building up the combo meter to do finishers in that way.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. It's a little bit less about, like, it's not so telegraphed, I guess, in the way that, like,
That's
stuff
true.
shows up for you to press Y at times.
True.
But you still have that same DNA. You know, you're countering attacks and doing kind of the same stuff.
And throwing the combos together, yeah.
Yes. I feel it has a way to appear more freeform than Batman does. So I think it's more of like a perception difference rather than a really difference.
I think maybe a reason for that is that you have a kind of aerial. You have aerial options, so to speak, for Spider-Man that you don't really for Batman for the Arkham games.
True. Also, Batman is a slow-moving tank, while Spider-Man is like doing all this acrobatics.
Batman is like
it's about agility.
Right? A turd with a mouth. That guy moves. I mean, he's stoved up, and it feels good. Like in his way, Spider-Man feels good, amazing sometimes with the animation of him curling, doing a backflip, which would break a human body. The way he does it, he does that sort of bendy boned thing. They feel different, but they are inherently hit Y to win, and then hold Y to hit bad guy to win against bigger bad guy. That's just sort of the way they are. But another question that really does speak to me a little bit. Jenna says, Wolverine world building. If the game leans mature, what's one narrative risk you hope Insomniac actually takes? Tone, villains, your own moral choices in the game. So I dig that. Because we didn't have a lot of choice in these last games from them. There wasn't really choice. You know what I mean? Like true choice. It would be awesome if Wolverine goes to one of these areas and they're like, do you kill him? Do you not? Maybe that changes what happens later on in the game. So I would go with moral choice. What about you guys? Is there anything you'd like if let's say they go close to R, they go deep down dark. What is there anything you guys would like to see them do overall?
I mean, maybe something with the criminal underworld in that sense. And then maybe tie that into difficult choices.
Like maybe you mean like, would you mean like killing if they're in a gang, killing them and not killing other, like, what do you mean? Like, what would you want to see?
I think maybe getting in the middle of maybe a gang war where he has to pick a side between one or the other or something. And then like having actual moral complexity between the different factions there. That could be interesting.
Let me type this up here.
I think that choice in general is not really something they put in their games. It kind of feels like it's more so about telling their story.
Well, that's what I'm asking right now, because I feel with this being linear, this is the time where they could do it. Because I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like generally.
Yeah, I mean, Wolverine's an obvious character to use for it because his morality sort of changes, depending on the
themes
author
of
and the
greatest good and
the
maybe
circumstances.
Maybe questionable acts that are done for like a good reason according to him, but nevertheless, some rough decisions there.
Jay says, don't let them know our Discord secrets. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's really not a secret that we're the best Discord. I feel like that's already out there. Just saying. It's already come and gone. Can't put that genie back in the bottle. Can't put that deformed, nasty-ass, 3-armed, creepy, multi-mouthed demon back in the bottle. Batman carries a ton of weight, armor, and gadgets, Cobra says. True. SBZ says, maybe like the Punisher game. Moral dilemma, execute or release. Yeah, that might work. Hero on Biz. I took ACG's advice, shelved the Legion Go 2, and instead got a Razer iPad controller and streaming locally. Much better solution. Don't know if that was my advice. Oh, maybe I just said, the handhelds aren't worth it for their cost. Probably. I probably said that.
On the gadget note, I mean, Insomniac Spider-Man has quite a few gadgets himself.
That's true. He does. He does have quite a few. And it feels good. They did a really good job with that Spider-Man. It's still one of my favorite versions. Johnny, you had some stuff that you wrote down here. I'm looking at it. Let's see. We covered you got the Beast impressions. So have you been playing it?
Yeah.
So give us your Johnny plays live. No bullshit.
Dude, I think it's great. It's turned out to be really polished. And it has the recognizable DNA of the parkour and maneuvering and stuff in first person, which works really well. They got some cool options too if you're someone who struggles with motion sickness or anything like that you can play around with, which is nice. But the game itself is fun, man. I just found myself having a lot of fun with the setting, because there's something about the woods that, first of all, looks amazing. I thought, it looks incredible. And in the distance, you have like the castles you can go to and stuff. Super cool location, almost like a Dracula type.
Gothic almost.
Yeah. So exactly, with churches and stuff. So I really like that. And I was surprised that even though it's a much more flat in nature area, they still find quite a bit of verticality in the towns. Where and the flow of like running through a building into the next one and jumping and then finding a thing, I felt it was really nailed. Not to say it wasn't in prior ones, it's just different, different setting, which I think works really well for this one. And then the power trip of every time you kill a big guy, you basically inherit their powers in a way, or, you kind of like get stronger the more you hunt down, was a really cool vehicle to keep you motivated to get the next big guy kind of thing, which I felt was not in prior games. Instead, it was more so about the story, right? And just like chasing the narrative itself. And here I feel this like, dude, I want to get to the next challenge so that I keep getting stronger and stronger, and every perk you get does feel pretty impactful.
How's it perform on your PC?
Really well so far. I haven't had to dial in a bunch of things. I really just plugged in the high preset. Yeah, I got I think just DLSS on quality. It's running pretty well in 4K, which is awesome. More than I can say for Borderlands 4, sadly.
Yeah, no shit.
So yeah, I thought it was really cool. And for the price, which is like a little bit below full price, right? I think it's maybe around the $50 area.
Yeah. And then
that
free
worked
if you
really
already
well for me.
owned it and bought some version.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I thought it works really well. For that price, it's really polished. The story flows well. I thought some decent characters, a lot of quality voice acting. Even when you're just walking around in the bases and stuff, there's like people murmuring stuff about things. It's like a good, effort, making it feel a bit lived in, and that there is like a community of people surviving together type thing that you inject yourself into.
Yeah, I've liked the little bit I've got to play. Are you going to do that?
Of words.
What are we saying, Silver?
I just said it was an apt choice of words for Johnny to say that he should inject himself into the community.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Are you going to play it, Silver?
Probably not, to be honest. I never really finished Dying Light 2.
Yeah.
Just kind of drifted out of it.
A lot of zombie games. You know, it does offer something really good. But
True.
There are a lot. I mean, it's pretty easy to. And if you've, let's say, got your fill on one or two, then you know, a little harder to come back to it with so many other titles.
I think I mainly just feel a compulsion to go back and try and finish that before, potentially. Right. Which is weird because there probably would have been more likely to play it had it been the expansion it was originally slated to be, than it being its own standalone thing now.
Yeah.
That actually makes me less likely to play it.
Yeah, strangely enough, it actually, I would say, I mean, I still want to play it and all that, but I would say I actually agree with you that if it had been in the original format, there was probably a slightly higher chance of me, you know, like building up and jumping in there. Maybe it's just because that's the way my friends are, because there's co-op. I don't quite know, but yeah, I would agree with that. What else did you have on the list, Johnny? I thought I copied it in. I feel like I did, but I feel there's some repeats on my list, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah, so
you put the Beast.
A few things, yeah, about stuff I've been playing, like Borderlands 4, great game.
Oh, there we go.
But
I found it. Okay,
really, really faulty with bugs, both like performance-wise, but stuff that literally doesn't work. Like the inventory doesn't load up. So I got a new gun. I go into the slot to like replace it, and nothing shows from the inventory. Instead, I have to go into my backpack, locate the weapon there, and then from there equip it. So just to give one example, but there are other things like traveling around is super buggy, especially in co-op. And like there's just a number of things like that don't
Maybe you need
fully
to upgrade
work.
your PC to have the full inventory.
That's what I've been told. Yeah.
Check
exactly.
with Randy to verify.
Check with Randy. And then Hades 2, that's also been super cool. So finally the full release version's there. It's a super cool game. It's more Hades, right? There's no surprise there, but some great artwork and voice acting. The gameplay feels amazing. It's got all new like weapons and stuff, so it won't feel like the same as the prior. It does feel fresh because there's a lot of new stuff in it, while also being familiar because, of course, you have the same gods, right? It's the same group of gods in the mythology.
Yeah.
So the powers you used to get from the first game, if you play that, are going to be familiar, although they are new and kind of revamped. You will still have the recognizable, Poseidon and all of the gods you know and love already make a return.
Very cool. Jeff Ray's $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Hero on Business, $5 super chat. Thanks for the podcast. You're welcome. Thank you very much as well.
Is Theseus back in Hades 2?
So I believe you play as the sister from the protagonist from the prior game. I think she's the sister, although I haven't played enough to.
Theseus was one of my favorite interpretation of characters in the first one, where him and the Minotaur.
I'm sorry, I'm getting it mixed up.
Best buddies.
Yeah, that was one of the bosses, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so, yeah, sorry, that was not the protagonist. I haven't seen him yet. I'll just say that.
All right.
But yeah, I agree. I like that boss a lot. He's very cool.
I don't even remember him. It's been, how long ago did Hades come out?
It's like a big shield guy, wasn't it, Silver?
Yeah. While and really, really smug and really, really good at taunting the main character.
How long ago did Hades come out? Do you guys remember? Like the original? 7 years?
Yeah.
Yeah,
7
right.
seems
Isn't it?
right.
I think it was prior to 2020 for sure. I feel like.
Damn. How long were they in early access? 1 year exactly? 6 months? Do we know?
I think about a couple years. So the first one came out in 2020.
Oh, okay. Earlier than I thought. Way earlier than I thought. Okay. So 2020. And then these guys were, so what? Wait a minute. A couple years, that'd be weird if it was 2020, because we're in 2025. Unless they were like had nothing, and they're all right, man, jump into early access. We're building this from the fucking ground up. Do you know when they started, when they opened it up? If you can't find it, it's completely fine. It's just I'm always interested in how long a game sticks in early access, because we've got some.
I
Right.
think it was 2023
It looks like,
for Hades 2, wasn't it?
It looks like May last year, May 2024.
Okay.
Oh,
is what I'm seeing.
All right. So May 2024, they jump into early access. Year and a half later, year and some odd months later.
Not bad.
No, not bad. Not bad. Hate it, but not bad. Less to hate. Hate it, despise early access, but less to hate on that particular situation. So very cool. Amood is saying playing Hades 2 right now, great game. Yeah, I might jump into that. We'll have to see. What's difficulty like? So if there's Silk Song, which is like considered super easy. So like if you have Silk Song, which is like on a scale of 1 to 10, a 2 at the utmost, it's super easy, almost babies can play it. Where would this game be, Johnny? If 2 is
I haven't gotten that far yet, but it eases you into it. Initially, it's quite easy.
Gotcha.
So it starts at like maybe a 3 out of 10 or something, and it's just getting harder naturally the further you go into the run and things like that. So it, kind of gradually picks up.
Does it feel on par with the first one in that sense?
It's kind of hard to compare because I haven't gotten that far yet.
That far? Okay, that makes sense. I was wondering if that was the thing. Yeah.
I would say it feels similar. Yeah, it definitely feels similar. But I think it responds better. Maybe that's why it also feels a bit easier. Just like the movement is really crisp. So it also feels like you can dodge a lot of stuff and you can see a lot of stuff coming, maybe a bit better.
And it's so easy to miss, like Silk Song, this, so easy to, every single platform or genre has like 10 games coming out for it right now. It's
a lot.
Crazy. Yeah, it's just so many. Let's see, what else did Johnny got on here? We covered that. Borderlands 4 impressions are that, it's a game. And then State of Play, which we discussed, right? Yeah, we covered those.
I think we hit it all.
We hit all those. All right, so got some other questions. Neo Samurai says, Ghost of Yotei combat, if you could tweak one system based on the reviews, parry, window, stamina, enemy variety, what would make it a must-buy? I already think it's a buy. I don't do a must-buy. What would I change in the combat? When you switch between weapons in Ghost of Yotei, there are times where it feels like it requires a very specific frame area, almost like iframes in reverse, where you need a couple frames of no movement. So when you hit the button, it switches weapons. And I noticed in the larger games, the larger battles, there were times where I was feverishly hitting the button to switch to the katana. And because I was also running or doing something, it wasn't always just running, it was doing something. Sometimes I wouldn't switch. That pissed me off. And I did die from it a couple times. Nothing that like was game breaking. So I would say to clean that up a little bit, either buffer the move or have it just start automatically, because I definitely notice when there's a bunch of guys and you're like pulling off a move, you almost have to wait for him to to do a move and then settle and then you hit it. But then other times, I swear to God, that requirement wasn't there, and that she was just doing it right away. So it was a little bit more flexible than I think one would like. Let's see. Ariel Andy says, now that Dying Light the Beast is out, would you guys rather see Techland double down on co-op chaos or continue and craft a tighter story first campaign for the next game?
What was the question?
In accordance to, or in regards to Dying Light the Beast, would you rather, if now that it's out and everything, would you rather have Techland double down on co-op in their next game? Maybe make it, like really connected to the co-op, going out as a group, what may occur there, or craft a tighter story first campaign for the next game. I'd probably want a tighter story-based campaign. I think we have enough zombie open world group games to just to choke a donkey. Feels like it just feels like we've got those. We've got story-based ones too, but if it's a good story, I'd feel driven to play that a little bit more than another game that was open-ended. That was just like, here's some shit, do it at your, whenever you want. It's like, I'll already do that, bitch. I'll do it when I want. What about you guys?
Well,
anybody disagree?
I'll definitely grant you that, but I look at Techland's history in terms of narrative.
And it not being good?
There are some definite hits. Call of Juarez Gunslinger is amazing narratively. Like really, really fun game narratively. Frankly, the original Call of Juarez as well, and on a lot of levels, is Western game. And Bound in Blood, also pretty decent. But their zombie stuff narratively has not been impressive to me at all. Like not Dying Light, not the original Dead Island, and not Dying Light 2 either, really. What I played of Dying Light 2 didn't really impress me narratively either, to be honest. Which was just a disappointing because they had put so much apparent focus on that, certainly promotionally, that was a huge letdown for me in that game.
Yeah. I just feel like...
Yeah, I totally get it.
I'd rather have them attempt it again, I guess. Than go
with
another
and
one.
The other market is definitely heavily saturated.
Yeah.
You're correct there.
I also don't,
heavily.
For that game, I don't see the appeal that much for multiplayer. I kind of like the... Yeah, Dying Light I've always played by myself.
I played it with Abzy, I played it with Takedown, I played with a bunch of people actually in our Discord, but I can honestly say I don't seek it out. It is a game that plays generally quite well on its own and doesn't really... It's almost just like if you want... But we're not going to reach out and, make the world be different because you're with another person. And
I like the loneliness aspect of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't want to fight somebody over the supplies.
Exponentially less tense as a like horror game.
For sure. Right. As a horror game with another person. Yeah. Andy Hart, $2 super chat. Really enjoying Silent Hill F. Feels like a ton of people are, man. A ton of people really enjoying that game. I'm glad to see it. Glad to see them enjoy their little Asian girls. Anyway, I'll be getting it. Yeah, very excited. Anyone playing Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster? That one came out recently. What was the other one that Reg played all the games of?
Trails.
They
got the first game remade. Pretty good remake too. Quite extensive.
Yeah, it looked rebuilt, right?
Yes.
It looked... in many ways, like I was hoping Deus Ex Remaster would look. Because, god damn, that was rough. Listen, I back those guys 100%, and I love that game, and I want to see it. But there must have been a tech change when all these games are made or what have you, that when you see that remake or whatever, you look at it, and it could be the sparse wall effects, the geometry, the lack of it breaking up in the remaster or remake or whatever this is called. That game looked rough as shit, man. They could change. It changed with their prior games where they turn around, they do a very good job, but god damn.
Really it looked like a mod to me.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, very much so. And it honestly, I feel like it looked like not the greatest mod. Like that there were probably some mods out there that somebody should have, replace the mod with. So, but that could have just been the trailer, right? Like it could have just been the trailer. I love that game so much, man. But I do feel like it's ancient. It's on a certain tech, and it would really behoove them to just move it forward. Maybe not like Oblivion. That's sort of ridiculous, right? That costs a ton of money. But maybe we need to have another layer, like a 0.5, that's between you're just port remake where you redo your assets, but it's not truly just like a remaster where you're just upscaling. And then like your big ones like Oblivion, it's like right in the middle, 0.5, 0.7.
True. I think we don't really have that middle ground, right? Because you
Not
either
too
shoot
much.
for the moon with a new engine,
Yeah.
and then you have to remake a bunch of stuff.
And Deus Ex's
Tough.
gameplay and everything is good enough that I'm not 100%
Yes.
sure you need to add a ton of shit to
Yeah.
the gameplay. You know, you don't need to like, or quality of life. There's some stuff, but what were you saying, Silver?
I
Sorry.
still remember how that game blew my mind back in the day when, I mean, before really outside of the internet. Like the internet was there, I mean, but not all that much. But when I learned that you're like JC Denton's brother Paul, who is potentially killed in an ambush, could actually survive that ambush because it seemed so heavily scripted that he was supposed to die there, but that he could actually survive and that could affect the story later on. Like that just blew my mind at the time because that was not something we were accustomed to in video games. That being an option.
Yep. And there's 4 or 5 of those in that game.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I remember.
Where characters can die or survive. Yeah.
Yep, die or survive, or just hearing a bunch of stuff in a story by doing in that game. If anybody tells you to do anything, doing the opposite is always a good idea, because there is a high
I found
chance,
that the wrong way, by the way, or like the bad way.
Oh, how is that?
Well, I just made a bad decision. I just followed what someone was saying and ended up being like.
Was this Deus Ex 1, the ancient one? Or was this different?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, it can happen. I did something where they were like, go do this, and I stuck around, and you hear this long, conversation, like just, just little snippets, little things. We've seen it continued. We saw it continued in a couple of his other games. We saw it in Anachronics as well. We saw it in No One Lives Forever sometimes, where you would do something, that was slightly off kilter, and you would get a little bit of extra tidbit of story or something like that, which is awesome. Yeah, we'll just have to see. Andy Hart, $2 super chat. Thoughts on Saros looking impressive? It does. We discussed it in depth at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Looks, like Returnal 2. Returnal 2.
Returnal.
Returnaling. Let's see. Do I have any other questions here? Do we have any questions in the Discord? I'm going to parse these out and verify we haven't answered these.
Should I read out a few here?
Oh yeah,
from
go
Discord?
ahead. Sorry. Yeah, I'm just removing some of these that we've already answered out of. This is a long list. So.
Okay, perfect. This one from I am John Galt. I've been hearing people complain about cutscenes in games being 30 FPS, but I've noticed this in pretty much every game I've played. If people find it problematic for whatever reason, could companies use FrameGen to boost the FPS? Would the tech fall short in a passive viewing experience like a cutscene? Also, why do people care about cutscene FPS?
Yes, and it's been done. And because people care is because it looks like janky shit. Silent Hill
transition,
is
isn't it?
Silent Hill was rough, man. Silent Hill, you come from, and it's not always going from 60 to 30. You could be going from 120 to 30. And that is a sharp left turn. And by the way, I'm not the person that bitches about this very often. I would have played Silent Hill at 30 and could have still rated it worth getting. But it's like you're playing that game and it dumps to 30, and I thought I was like, oh wow. I mean, I'll tell you this. It was so unusual that I started running a bunch of benchmarks looking at like in the middle of the gameplay playthrough, which is where I normally try not to do that. And I was so shocked by the dump that I started like looking at that more and going like trying to talk to people and get cutscenes to trigger, because I was like, what is going on? And then realized, oh shit, they cut this all the way to 30, especially for a game like that, which is running at 90 to 120 or can at least.
Yeah.
But frame gen could be used, but you can't, there's possible ways to turn it off and on via not the gamer. However, I don't think anybody wants a game taking over their NVIDIA. So you would have to use the game engine's version. And then at that point, they probably have it on all the time. But I
like the option. We've started seeing option in the game where you can limited to 30 on cinematics, that's great because it means maybe it plays better, right? Maybe they can bump up the post-processing
ray tracing or
stuff.
whatever.
Yeah.
Ghost does
Which
that.
is great.
You've got
great
your
option.
high resolution 30, ray tracing 30, and then you've got your like 60 performance, which still looks gorgeous, And we grow accustomed to things too. That's the thing. You can grow accustomed if it's smooth.
Yes.
As in at whatever choices. If it doesn't, you don't see this. But if you start seeing this a bunch, then you notice that right away because it's such a difference to the human brain. Like you're just like, whoa, what's going on here? And again, you're not talking to somebody who's gonna like freak out if a game dev, especially on a console, is like, hey, let's do this. But this was on PC, which I find really weird. Like a PC game locking the cutscenes is quite unusual. Like I normally don't see that. You could do it. Yeah,
we see it as an option. That's it.
If you have physics-based stuff that's taking your physics and doing calculations on your physics, and you're running it like 90 in the game world, and you go into a cutscene and it's running at 90, but they expect 30, and suddenly the fruit bowl ends up flying across the room. You could see something like that. We saw it with Skyrim. So
I mean, you usually see it in games that are very narratively driven or cutscene heavy.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Or they'll lock him at 60, which is a little bit better. I think a drop from 120 to 60 would have been noticeable, but not even, it would have been mentionable, Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, this thing happens. Where this one is like, whoa, something, this feels dramatically off. Yeah. What else do we got?
This one from Sully. What is the next big evolution in games? Immersion, personalization, community, etc. I was thinking that the AI-generated living game world kind of seems like the pinnacle.
Damn. Go hard on the question, for Christ's sakes. Like, what is the future of gaming? Answer now. What do you guys think? Like, what are we looking at?
I think immersion is definitely going to be the big groundbreaker.
You think so?
Also, because, that also tied into VR, right? That's one of the core concepts of VR.
I was going to ask you.
I definitely think that is a future ground for sure.
I was going to ask you, Silver, what would it mean for immersion to be taken up to the next level? Is it like you're saying, just VR or more like better tech?
Or sim, just the Dishonored style stuff, where it's like, what do you call it? Environmental sim style game. Like what? Yeah.
I think partly VR, but probably mostly just sensory, like sight and sound, and VR obviously ties into that, right? But how that can evolve into heightening your immersion for sure. Whether it's, it doesn't even have to be VR. It could be augmented reality as well, right? Potentially. So I think it has to tie into like sensory stuff, for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. What about you, Johnny?
I would like to see technology applied to choice making in games. So use Gen AI tools and stuff like that, but not on their own, not just like open it up.
Right.
So that you're speaking to a chatbot. It's more the idea that you're using some of these technologies to make all the branching conversations possible, so that not literally everything needs to be written by a person or spoken by a person, and opening it up so that it can be augmented, right? So like Troy Baker goes in, he does most of the lines for the main stuff, and then there's a bunch of other stuff that maybe is augmented using his voice profile. I know this is very polemic, I get like controversial. People don't really
but that's fine to me. I mean,
this,
dude, it can be controversial. You're just saying what you think may end up happening. You're not saying you're behind it.
The way I view it, right, is that we're not taking away from the voice actor in this way, because they're still playing a full role like they would. We're now able to maybe generate extra on top of their work that's in line. And just help with more branching, because a lot of games just can't do any, right? They have a fixed narrative. So it would be cool to make that a little bit easier with engines that are not made for that purpose, perhaps.
Zaxby, $5 super chat. Hi, cuties. I wanted to stop by and say hi before I take my mom out for dinner. Love you guys. Have a great podcast. That sounded like code all the way through that. That sounded like some really weird code. Like there was some other message that was being displayed through that. But thank you very much, sir. Jeff Rye's $5 super chat. They just released a game based on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the movie. What other stop-motion movie should they gamify? I can tell you right now, the only one that matters, World Police. I know it's not technically stop-motion, but World Police needs to be a game. I want to cut the strings of puppets to kill them. I want to like fuck up their faces. Oh, God, what is it?
Clash of the Titans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Clash of the Titans would be pretty sweet. Straight up Clash of the Titans, right? Like,
yep. The Ray Harryhausen one.
Yeah, Ray Harryhausen, man. What's his name? Hamilton. The main actor. Hamilton, something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't either.
Harry? Is it Harry Hamilton? Is it Harry? It might be Harry.
No.
It's not? Okay. Man, dude, I love that original Clash of the Titans. That thing looked amazing. It was so good. I mean, I like the movies.
No, sorry. Yeah, the main actor in. Yeah, no.
Is it Harry Hamilton?
I don't remember who the main actor was. Could be.
Love that. And then my answer for where the future's going. So I believe that gaming has one huge weakness, and it most likely is going to fuck it up for years. Gaming aimed for movies, and we're now there. And I think the big problem is when you aim to be like the 4-minute mile and you get it, or you get close to it and you're still number one, you probably don't push too hard. And I think gaming is so enamored, so in love with itself, not only in and of itself in love with itself, we're the best everything, blah, 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 but also we love movies. We've replaced movies. We compare ourselves consistently to beating out the movie industry. That the forward thinking stuff is gone, because it's like, what can this cutscene look more human? It's not necessarily the way we want it, right? I don't know about you guys. I love an FMV game, but I certainly don't want every single person or every single game looking that realistic. There's some real worry there that if that happened, you would also get governmental oversight into those games. One of the things people don't realize, especially with FMV games, you're now like going a good step farther, when it comes to what they look like and how they do it. But I would say that for me, gaming has a huge weakness, and I don't know, there's a couple developers who I've heard talk about this years ago. I haven't really heard anybody talk about it since, but their worry was that we were aiming at movies too much and we were aiming at shows too much. Everything we do is a love story to some other entertainment and not games. It's just a lot of the stuff we do. Oh, look at us. We're chapters now. Look at us. And there's all this stuff that feels so in love with TV shows and movies, and TV shows and movies aren't even what they used to be anymore. And I don't want my games looking like what we see on TV. That's for goddamn sure. Like, so there's no one to aim. Very true. There's no one to aim for in that case anymore. Games need an identity of their own, and they do not have it. Sorry, but I mean, just listen to any podcast, listen to any presenter, listen to a game developer, listen to a game publisher, and what are they? I mean, they're still aiming at something that they destroyed years ago. You don't shoot the deer twice if it's already hung up and fucking drawn and quartered and in your fridge, but we just keep shooting at the same fucking deer. It's like you've already beat movies and shows. You're past that. What are you gonna do? Oh, we're gonna do an MMO, but it's gonna be cinematic like a movie. And you're like, fuck, man. Like, you guys have to like branch out and be super experimental. Also, I don't think experiment has nearly the specialness people think it does. I think experimental is fine, but there's a great number of experimental things, whether it be movies, whether it be shows, games, music, that doesn't entice everybody because it's too experimental, but it's still super impactful. They don't sell well. They don't whatever well. They don't listen well. Like, how many times have you guys heard a band that they change up their sound and you're like, I hate this, and then a year later or 2 years later, you're like, you know what? I think maybe my favorite album from that band, like, because it is different, but you weren't ready for it at the time. I think with games, I agree with Silver that like VR is a place, but it's got a shit ton of issues, whether it be batteries, whether it be comfort, whatever.
And entry level for price and whatnot.
Entry level for price. And then we also have a problem with kiboshing all tech that we don't agree with. And I don't know where to go from there, because I agree with a shit ton of the complaints about AI. But I also believe that AI is coming. And if you're not ready, then less controlled groups will beat you out, because the general gamer will not notice some of the small changes like Johnny's talking about, like an addition to, more content made by, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. But yeah, we're in a weird spot for games right now. We're getting the best of the best, and we're actually on the precipice of, like, what brings excitement back? Because excitement's sort of gone in gaming. It's there, but it's gone. And people are like, oh, GTA will do it. I believe GTA will bring excitement to people who like open world modern games made by them. But let's say it revitalizes open world games not made by them. You're going to wait 5 years for whatever game from another company that tries to mimic GTA. Because a lot of companies are worried about it. I did hear there might be a what do you call it coming out? A Saints Row? There, like a relook at Saints Row. There was a rumor that they, were sort of understanding that they aimed wrong. I'd kill for that. What were you going to say there, Silver? I'm sorry, buddy.
Just to your point about games emulating to movies too much. I think it's a real shame that games sort of moved away entirely from Half-Life's style of doing cutscenes, where you were still fully in the scene. You weren't a passive spectator, so you could move around while characters were talking and exposition was delivered and whatnot. Which, that's very risky. That's putting a lot of trust in the player to pay attention and to actually watch stuff and not go around bunny hopping and doing 50 other things that are irrelevant or whatever. But I think that worked really, really well for those games and for investing people in the character of Gordon Freeman. That you were actually there, that you had full spatial awareness and movement in the scene in that moment. It wasn't locked to a particular viewpoint. It wasn't locked to particular characters. You could look around and look at how different characters reacted through the scene.
It's funny that Borderlands 4 does exactly that, where you can move completely freely while people, the bad guy is giving his speech, but what ends up happening is sort of the what you were saying, which is, people are jumping around. I was playing with Antisky, he's just shooting grenades the entire time, right? So now I have to listen to the villain monologue, but I have this beep, beep, beep of a grenade the whole time going off, and it pulls you out of it. I don't know. I get what you're saying, and I love that. But I also think that people
You're completely right.
The natural thing is like, okay, let me just like jump at stuff or shoot at stuff while this is happening.
But that is true that they can. But many of us have played a GTA where suddenly, for reasons we can't quite describe, we are going slow at yellow lights and stopping at red ones.
Oh,
so if that comes up where you are playing a game that's like you can do whatever and you don't, because that main bad guy is talking, and that to me indicates a magic that doesn't exist much. What I mean by that is the magic to inherently apply that rule of gamemanship on top of the gamer who's playing it during a cutscene. If you're firing at shit, there's always going to be some jackass firing shit. Like, that's sort of the way it is. But if you're playing it normally and for whatever reason there's an intangible reward, even if it is to stay within the fiction of the game, and you don't do that, that is special. And it's rare, but I have had it. You've had it. We've all had it where, you're like, or you've even said it, or I've said it, where I'm like, I'm only going to play this game with certain people because they will break my immersion.
Sure.
So, or I'm not going to stream while I play because that will break my immersion. Those kind of things, those are special moments where people are like, dude, we need to get to the other side of the city. It's all red lights. We're screwed. I sort of dig that.
Yeah.
that there's a lot of buy off, especially if it's natural buy off, not the game's going to fine you or you could get pulled over. It's where the game, that's not what it's doing at all. It's just like, that is one place where I see the immersion factor of what Silver was saying. Not really in the term immersion in that way, but the role playing, like GTA's got the role playing servers. I do see that the more games offer adjustments and customization, the more that kind of stuff seems to crop up. It becomes natural. It naturally crops up on its own. And there's something magical about that. And that's pretty much unheard of. Like in any other industry, you really don't have that. The closest would be a jam session with your favorite musician, but it's just there and it's gone. There's something about games when you get people who are like, you know, they dive in and they sort of adhere to rules regardless of any kind of mechanical bonus or negative. It's rare, but that right there is special. And maybe they'll figure out ways in the future. Maybe the big change will be somebody will figure out the way to trigger that in people a little easier, which would be cool.
That's honestly one of the biggest things I want is for games to implement that kind of modability on a larger scale, for giving players options for how they want to play their games.
Right.
So that, for instance, stuff like infinite ammo becomes an option like it is in bolt gun. If you just want to switch that on and just mess around or whatever. Or like even Uncharted, like from Naughty Dog had that for most of the games. Once you beat the game, it unlocked the cheat menu where you could then play through the game with various cheats if that's what you wanted. I don't think enough games feature that kind of modability.
Yeah,
for allowing players to mess around or change factors in the game in that way, if they care to.
Yeah, I agree with that. What else we got, Johnny, for questions?
Yes. Let's see. This one from A1 Nagel. We often focus on being able to see and hear our video games. Sometimes I wish I had the ability to also taste or smell them. I also wish I couldn't taste my tears from the 1,000 price tag on the ROG Ally.
Is there a question, or is he just literally saying?
I guess he's asking if we would like to taste or smell.
In 80% of the cases, no.
Yeah,
absolutely not. Yeah. Can you think of a single instance where you thought, dude, I wish I could smell this?
Chef's
or
games,
I wish
for sure.
Yes.
Chef's games. Games
okay.
when cooking.
Final Fantasy 15 when they cook.
That's exactly what I was thinking, but I didn't want to call that a chef game because I know Final Fantasy fans had come out of the woodwork being like, you just negated 90% of what that game is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Also, I don't have
like
a pollen allergy, thankfully. So like Ghost of Tsushima or Ghost of Yotei.
Yeah, true.
With all the blossoms and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Dragon's Dogma 2 had like FMV cooking segments for your steak. I'd do that.
So there's a couple things that I don't think people, it's not even people, it's easy to forget that because of the way, in fact, majorly because of the way the sense of smell works, there's a very high chance of one of two things happen. And one, they have to ramp up the smell more and more for you to continue to smell it, or two, you're going to get a migraine. Pretty much anybody who smells the same thing gets very tired of it quite quickly, whether it be a cook, your mom making breakfast, you smelling garlic, and then suddenly at some point you're not hungry anymore and you're like, I don't want to smell that anymore. I don't think the smell really makes any sense. I think it's transitory. I think it's very quick. It's something that you would smell for a second. Cordite, gunpowders, from gun, it would be for a millisecond, and it would certainly add immersion for that brief second. But imagine playing Call of Duty where that's all you're smelling is brass. Most people would be very ill by the time they were done with that game. Smell is notorious for making people sick, and it's connected to every other sense. Smell, hunger. Like, talk to anybody who has a cold, they're less hungry usually because the sense of smell augments it. There's all kinds of things, so I wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
And then taste. I don't interact with games on a taste level. I mean, I wouldn't mind playing a game where you were a taste tester of foods. Like, that would be sort of a cool game, right? But it just can't be, right now it can't be mimicked in a game fashion at all. You know,
No.
it would be like, you know, you'd be Jessica Cholbot out there licking a PSP controller in a Walmart. It'd be pretty.
All I was thinking is, you know, in Monster Hunter Wilds, when you cook and you're doing like the steak with cheese on top, and it looked pretty good. That's one time I thought, like, dude, I'll taste that. You know, if I could turn on the setting.
There are also some smells that are so rank that you can physically taste them.
Yeah, true. Like a dog fart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think those have any place, really. I think sensory, touch, weight, those are the more realistic. Like, how do we do that? There's a really cool controller that does a shift. Basically, if you imagine two parts of a wood block, if you pull them this way, if you shear them like this, and you're trying to hold on to it, it will fool your brain into think it weighs more because of what it's pulling down. And so your brain will go, oh, that weighs more. And some VR companies were testing this. Adam Savage covered it. A couple other people covered it. I think sensory stuff matters more. Fingertip gloves. Johnny and I've talked about this for ages. Piezoelectric stuff. All of the different electrical systems.
All the haptics.
Yeah, you don't want
stuff
you don't want no goddamn fucking wire on the back. You catch that on a cat's, you know, fur or something. When you try to pet it, cat runs off. You skin the cat. All that kind of shit you don't want. But smell, taste, nah. No. I think definitely touch could be, you know, shut up or we're all gonna die or whatever that bomb diffusal game is, or keep talking or we're all gonna die. I think that's what it is. Yeah, keep talking. Exact opposite of what you want to do in that case. That game, you know, sensory stuff, grabbing the wires. Hell yeah, I'm all for that shit. You know, I think sensory stuff in those particular aspects, but get away from like PlayStation.
VR surgeon.
Yeah, VR surgeon be great, but get away from the stupid bullshit, like the stupid triggers. Remove those. Don't make people pay for that kind of bullshit. Don't make people pay for the touchpad on the PlayStation. That's ridiculous. It burns up the battery, and it's a useless device that has no reason why it's in a system. If you want to do gyro in your controller, that makes sense. But the big problem is that in your controllers, you can't mimic touch. The only way to mimic touch would be, you know, VR glasses or hands. And that's the big problem, right? There's no middle ground because you can't middle ground that. I mean, you can't. It's just either one or the other. There's no real middle ground between those two unless you're like, this is my gun. And then that's fucking stupid because you can move it like the swords in Oblivion where you're
paper mache
it's like paper mache sword. It's fun.
Yeah.
It still looks cool, but it doesn't feel cool. And nobody's going to want to swing a 7-pound sword for 8 hours of Oblivion. Right?
Because that would be the natural answer of some people. Like, hey, just get a sword controller that weighs, but then you can play for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, dude, and you throw out your shoulder the first time you swing a sword, or you put it through your fucking TV, or you let go of it and it
hit
spears,
your cat, like
it spears the person that you threatened the day before and invited over to not be timely with you playing the game. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I think touch is the big one. What else we got?
This one, a quick one from Bowser. Why does Johnny have more guitars than me? And I'm in a professional band. No guitar envy here at all. Bowser, I have more guitars than you for reasons. That's it.
Because he is inherently super skilled at something and only needs one device. You have been consistently seeking improvement across many devices.
Do it all with, you know, your workhorse.
No, I mean, I'm sure when he was young, that's pretty normal to see a person who's learning something versus, like, let's say, doing it at their job, buying multiple things. It's called buying for success.
Yes.
We've done it. I've done it. Mike, I need a new mic to fix this. No, you don't. You need to fucking fix everything else. And then you become a collector, which is what you are. But also, I think it's a very utilitarian thing. You grab some stuff and you're like, will this improve my set? Do I like this sound better? You're sort of trying to fit your spaces.
It's about being inspired and having different guitars, you know, a different guitar, different shape, color, neck, whatever.
And they look cool on your wall.
Inspire you in a different way. They look cool on my wall too. Yeah. I'm shallow, Bowser. That's why. I am John Galt. Asks second question.
You're an aesthete.
What?
Effete.
You are an aesthete.
Oh, an aesthete. I thought you said he's a feat. I was like, I don't think he is. But continue.
Preferred gaming handheld, Steam Deck or ROG Xbox Ally?
Neither. Jesus Christ. Might as well just pick poop or urine. What the fuck? One's ancient,
you don't like
the other one's
either
from
of
ROG.
them?
No. No way. Not. I mean, dude, one's ancient and the other one is from a company I don't trust at all. Like, I just don't. I guess I'd say the ROG for other people because it'll probably feel more comfortable being a controller-based system.
As long as, hope you don't have issues and depend on
anything from that piece of shit company. I fucking hate them. I do not like them. I do not trust them at all.
Yeah.
And I would suggest other people not trust them.
Yeah.
Go look. This is not me. This is the reaction after seeing what's occurred. It has nothing to do. I used to like them. I mean, I didn't love them because I'm not really in love with a company that makes motherboards. That seems really weird. Be like, damn, man, I really love this I love this company that makes motherboards, but I can't hate them. Switch to
Steam Deck OLED, I like, but it's gotten outpowered by pretty much everything. It's a bit old. If you're going to play some indies, I think it's a good machine if you get it at a good deal, like maybe a sale or something.
Yeah. What else we got?
That's about it for the Discord today.
Dude, it's been a crazy couple weeks, man. Like, looking back, I'm always like looking at science news, but a bunch of crazy stuff there, a bunch of crazy stuff in the AI, a bunch of crazy stuff in biomedical. They ended up Huntington's disease. They used CRISPR and some stuff, and they figured out they've like gone into Huntington's disease. I don't know why I continue to have that issue, and they figured out that they might be very, very close to the end all be all of some kind of at least cure or close to a cure for that, which I think is phenomenal. And I always love reading that kind of stuff, especially that disease, which is pretty rough.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Gibbler has a good question. I'm behind the podcast, but in regards to receiving codes for games that you don't end up reviewing, do you owe them anything? Maybe you can't discuss it. No, I can for sure discuss it. I feel like I do, but what's very cool about that is for a game that has bugs or crashes and I can't play it, you can quite literally, almost like a refund, but you basically tell the company, hey, reject that code, remove it from my account, and about an hour later, you'll get an email and you'll get an alert in Steam that says this account's been revoked. So you can tell them to revoke the code, which I do because otherwise it's just sitting there and it's probably just going to continue to sit there. So it's better to do that. Yeah. Yep. So that it's pretty easy to do. All the other ones I just turn back around and say I'm no longer able to cover it. And most of the time, they're fine with that. SBZ $5 super chat. What are your thoughts on Ananta? Wow, that's a shit name. Chinese FT or free to play anime GTA that copycats every good games ever existed.
So I don't know if you remember, we saw this at a recent event. I forget exactly which one. Okay. It was kind of like this open world. You could drive cars and stuff, and it was fully anime looking.
Okay.
Pretty much. Mm-hmm. And there was an IGN like gameplay trailer that came out yesterday, a 10-minute gameplay thing if people are interested. But yeah, it seems to be doing a lot of GTA things, like driving around, shooting people, but kind of anime style. So,
what's the shade about it copying everybody like most games do? Like, is this like that Horizon Zero Dawn thing where like it genuinely looked like dragons and neon? Is that the way this game looks, Johnny? Do you know this? Like, my opinion from watching it is that it's doing a lot of the same things that those open world games do, like GTA. Mm-hmm. But I think the issue, or maybe what's rubbing people off the wrong way, is that it's a free-to-play game. And people view it as like just taking stuff that exists and doing it under a different coat of paint, and then like
trying to get money with microtransactions in a free-to-play game. That's my read on why some people are really negative on it. I haven't seen a lot about the game.
We also heard that it's Chinese in that sense.
Oh,
Okay.
maybe that's
I'm watching
the angle.
trailer right now. I absolutely understand why people are bothered. In the less than 13 seconds I just watched it, it showed like 6 parts from Spider-Man 1 modded to not look like Spider-Man 1.
Like those quick time events?
No, dude,
Whoa.
they're literally in this. They even have the same cutscene moment where there's like a 4-lane intersection of the fire trucks, and then it cuts to him in a building that is almost identical to Fisk's fight. The only reason I know that is because I used the AI review thing when I did the AI reviews, and I had to go back and look at old Spider-Man game footage.
Okay.
This is insanity, man. Like, it really is close. That's crazy. Just a Spider-Man. So I can't speak to the others, but what I just saw, I'm looking at an Nanta, whatever, gameplay trailer at the first, like, let's say 2 minutes.
Okay, yeah. It looks very reminiscent, that fighting style, right?
Close, yeah. And it's not only the fighting style, it's that they're in the skyscraper building, and it's got the same like floor patterns and everything. But it is.
I mean, it even has the Venom,
yes,
like tentacle arms.
Yeah, yeah.
True.
Damn, interesting. Yeah. Okay, maybe we did see this, and I just don't remember it. But I now that I'm.
Yeah, we hadn't seen as much gameplay. It was more of a cut trailer, what we saw.
Oh, wow. No, dude, he dive bombs just like Spider-Man. Like, literally does the hands back behind his head. Oh, my God, he does the arm wave. Look at 6 minutes in. And he even does the bounce off the edge of a skyscraper the same way. So if you want to continue moving in Spider-Man, you'll swing, land, and you'll do the thing with your hands, and you'll jump to the next one. It's all identical.
Damn.
Wow. Okay.
There you go. That's why people are mad then.
That's crazy. I'm glad somebody brought that up. That's crazy. I did not remember seeing that. That is.
If it was Nintendo, they would have patented a lot of that stuff.
Patent, the word patent. Nintendo, listen, man. Like, the problem with misused patents is they fuck up other people who patent. It's like crying wolf, right? I just wish these companies wouldn't do it, because if you want to patent something real, that's one thing. But patenting, the idea to catch a monster inside of a sphere of some kind is like, okay, dude, we're getting a little far now. Might as well just patent the word patent and be done with it. Damn, that's crazy. That game does look like. What else do we got? We got any cool science news? Any cool, amazing shit on the side? We're only 2 hours. It's been a nice, smooth one. Sorry.
Yeah. I've been perusing this book from Steven Pinker. I think it's called Rationality and Common Knowledge.
2 things.
So he's kind of...
Damn.
Yeah, exactly. So he's this sort of, intellectual guy, and he talked a lot about how we're better off now than we've ever been. I think in his prior book and stuff, he talks a lot about rationality. And this book, he focuses a lot on common knowledge, which is this idea that not only you and I know something, but we know that the other knows. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I know that you know that, for example, like you were saying before, the combat in Ghost of Tsushima, I know that you felt that it was limiting how you had the rock, paper, scissors. But not only that, I know that you know that I know. That.
Yeah.
Yes. And that informs the way that I talk to you about those things, because maybe I know it will resonate, right? Or not. And it also changes the way you respond to me, because you know that I'm aware how you felt about that.
Right.
And it was really cool going through some of the sections and noticing how much stuff relies on common knowledge and how it affects how we react as well. Like your level of embarrassment in a situation can also be determined by what level of knowledge people have. So if I fart right now, right? But I don't know whether or not you're aware that
somebody else
farted.
Heard,
right? That's one level of embarrassment. If I know that you know that I farted, that's a next level. That's way more embarrassing. But even worse, if I know that you know that I know, that's even worse, because now there's this common knowledge established, and that's like the worst version of that. So I just thought it was a cool thing to think about, how if we assume that people are rational and they have common knowledge about something, that should mean that they have the same conclusions too. And how that's pretty much never the case nowadays, where people just reach different conclusions with the same.
I mean, one of the big inherent flaws there is in the assumption that people are rational.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I popped in on a podcast recently that I thought was hilarious. They were saying it's pretty crazy, and I'd always thought this of my dad. I'm sure people, whoever, if mom, dad, whatever you have, that's a family member that knows a lot of stuff. The amount of knowledge that is handy or momentary that are in human brains that probably will never, ever be there again because of Google search, because of watching a video, not learning on your own, but watching others, blah, blah, blah. They were talking about like just the idea that you could, up to the age of like 12 or 13, your parents are Google. They're just, or they were. And so you say, hey, how do you do this? And the parent, it's on them, hopefully, to give you the best information possible on how to do a particular thing, or if they want to give you that data, and how much knowledge people had at one particular time, where you would just, and it obviously depends on where you are and stuff like that, but that there's a very high chance we'll never get back to that like the pinnacle's reached, and we'll be able to read stuff, know stuff, but you just won't retain it, because there won't be, until something bad happens, a reason to retain it. You'll know it. You'll know where to search. Maybe you'll know the pinpoints. You know the weights of it, like things rising above the water, but you can no longer see the shadow of the water and go, that's a shark. You just see a fin and you go, that's a shark or a dolphin or a blah, 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 or a blah, 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 or a blah, blah, blah. And that's sort of where we are now, which was interesting sort of comparison to the discussion of like how humans handle communication and stuff. I would agree, though. I mean, most of the time, anytime I'm talking to somebody, I'm always thinking of those things. Like, what do they know? Like, what level are, explain it like I'm 5, or explain it like they care. So weirdly enough, one of the most important things for me is, if they don't care, to not waste my time explaining it. So when I am talking to somebody, I'll look at little things going on and I'll be like, okay, is this behooving anybody that I'm trying to explain this? And sometimes I've had conversation with friends where I'll be a minute into it and I'll be like, whoa, wait. Do you give a shit about any of this? Because if you don't, there's no reason for me to waste any time describing whatever I'm describing. They'll either say yes or no, then you move on from there. But you're always judging. And like you said, did they know? Did they know? Do they know? Can they see my face because I saw their face when I made the original face? But I think also that stops a lot of humans from communicating well, too. Because even myself, who I'm accustomed to it, there's been times where I've been talking to somebody, I'll see a look, and then the look reminds me of what maybe occurred, and then I'm second guessing. And so what happens is you sort of stymie your communication. And so people who are really unaccustomed to it can really be set off by a single look or a single activity or a single thing. Yeah. And then they get almost a social anxiety where they're second guessing everybody around them. When in real life, there's a high chance everybody around them, they're just trying to get through their day without screaming too much.
Yeah, they don't care as much about...
They don't.
Yeah, it wasn't like a big reaction to what you said.
Yeah. A fart's a big reaction, because we also do that. Have you ever had yourself lie? I'm sure no one noticed. But then you think of the action and you're like, that's a pretty big action. They noticed. So a small thing, a flub up on a word, I've worried about years later. Not worried, but it'll pop into my brain. Oh, I did a speech in front of somebody. I fucked up this word. And I'll be like, why? That was 9 years ago. Those people are dead. They're all dead. And if they're not dead, they're dead to me. Like, who gives a fuck? But my brain will remember that. That kind of stuff doesn't matter. But the fart thing, like if you were in front of a stage and you farted, and everybody heard you rip the fart, and now they saw you react to them hearing it. That's a pretty big deal. Yeah, it's a pretty
I don't
big
know
deal.
if there's because I haven't read all of his book, but I don't know if there's a different category, which is like acknowledged knowledge. So if I pretty much know that you know that I know that I farted, does it matter whether or not we acknowledge it? Is it worse if it's the elephant in the room that no one's addressing, or you have something in your nose?
I think that's completely
Everybody
up
knows
to the
it.
person, right?
You know that everybody. Well, I guess you wouldn't know for the nose.
No, but I mean, I
thing.
think that's up to the person. If a person is one of those type of people that likes to say they're a bitch because they want to be a bitch,
Yeah.
you know, that's the acknowledgement. It lets them get off with doing whatever. Sometimes some people are better at just being like, I'm going to smooth through this and pretend no one noticed. And if somebody does mention it, it's way worse because they were trying to just move past it. So I'm sure it just matters depending on the person, right? Because we're all different.
I think so.
We all have different ways in which we do.
For like another example would be if you have a friend that's obese. In my experience, it's always made it better if we are able to talk about it openly versus try to dance around the fact that, you know, he's really obese. It's like, I think that helps the situation somewhat if you can acknowledge the elephant in the room, literally. But
I think that elephant in the room only comes up during roller coaster slides and paying for dinner. Like,
okay,
because otherwise you'd be like, hey man, let's play some Virtual Fighter, but you are pretty fucking fat.
Sure.
So if you can't press these buttons with your giant fat ass fingers that are like walrus pads, then maybe we shouldn't play. Right? So like you barely bring it up. But it is better.
You wouldn't just gratuitously
right. But it is better to be able to be honest in general, because somebody may also want to go on a trip with you, let's say, and you're thinking ahead and you're like, okay, 2 airplane, like let's say they're big and you're like 2 airplane seats or whatever, you know, that's a valid thing, and it's probably better to talk about it instead of pretend around it, which would be really weird.
Yeah.
So
or
but I don't
get
know.
to without asking them. Like,
oh my God, that'd be
it's like,
that'd be horrendous.
bro, why do I have 2 tickets?
Will you say what? Silver, were you going to add to that?
I mean, it's a very, very common thing for people with disabilities, where people who are who don't have disabilities have real genuine struggles with it. Well, how do I talk to this person?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to push or a border, or I don't want to cross a border or anything there, or a boundary.
Yeah.
And so they put on like safety gloves, like kid gloves, and take extra consideration in ways they wouldn't when engaging with other people. Where for most people with disabilities, they would be much happier if you just treated them as a normal person, as it were. Certainly, that's been my experience. I have disability myself. I've worked with disability rights, talked to a lot of people with disabilities, and that's been my general experience. That's generally how they prefer. Because I mean they live with it every day. It's their routine, so they are aware that they are abnormal in that way. Whatever their disability may be, whether it's because they're blind, deaf, or hobbled, crippled, whatever it is, or paraplegic, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I've seen is connected, but is from a different angle, which is that the people I work with who are disabilities wore, or, you know, maybe they were able prior, they didn't have those. The shit that I hear is that people are afraid of even mentioning it because some random other person will say, oh, how dare you? When the person who has the handicap will be like, how dare they mentioned it so we can figure it out. But there's a random person.
They're careful how they're
in the discussion,
afraid of how they'll be perceived.
And this random person in the discussion is telling you, or one of your friends or somebody, that like you should feel bad for how you talked about it, or that you didn't bring it up. And it's like, do you know why? Because of your action right there. That's why your overreaction for a person being, you know, trying to make sure things are good, or being at the worst overly polite, when what I see is a lot of times those people who are overly polite have been absolutely devastated by saying something wrong, by calling it the wrong name that now isn't okay. 6 months ago, it was okay to use this term. It's not now, it's not okay. And somehow everybody else has this common knowledge, but this one poor sap who says the old term, and they get destroyed. And they're like, well, fuck this, man. I'm just going to treat, if I see anybody even slightly different, I'm treating it with kid gloves, which then can appear, we see it in movies, right? Where it's actually covered quite well, weirdly enough, in the TV show Justified, where Timothy Oliphant and his black detective partner go up into a really rough place of town, and the store owner immediately puts on the sweets. She talks to him. She's like, Raylan? And then she talks to the girl, well, aren't you a little... and starts doing the... where you're like, like, I know that kind of person. That's the kind of person right there that you watch out for, like that overly, polite. Over
I remember once in like when I was in my 20s, I worked in, I think it was a video rental store. It was actually, it did a lot of things, but it was mainly a video rental store. And there was a woman who came in with her little kid, and the little kid looked at me and asked, "Oh, are you a dwarf?" Because I'm shorter. I'm shorter than most Danes. Like most Danes are famously quite tall, generally speaking. And so the kid asked me, "Are you a dwarf?" And the mother looked completely horrified. Like this is the worst social faux pas that's ever happened. But I just could not stop laughing because I found it hilarious. But yeah, that is the fear of being perceived as, oh, I'm being that I've made a social faux pas in that way, or whatever, that holds a lot of people back, for sure.
Yeah, it's tough too, because like you are okay with it, somebody else may not be, but no one understands that that's okay, that you may be okay with it and somebody else may not be.
But then I think it's a question of that person then asserting their boundaries and saying, I don't think that's okay. And then, then we go from there.
No, I'm talking about somebody who doesn't say anything, or somebody who, the reason why somebody doesn't is because they may have experienced a situation in which it was fine with you 2 minutes prior, and now somebody else has a completely different life experience and it's not okay. All I'm saying is that people are different, and honestly,
for sure.
Struggle is real. And I think the world would love to fix all this. I think the world would love to somehow magically be in Star Trek and be like, oh no, it's okay. Everybody's going to know exactly. We're going to use AI. Everybody's going to know exactly what's okay with everybody else, blah, blah, blah. And I got to admit, most of the good conversations I've had started rough with people. You know, they started on a mistake. They started on a roughness where you're like, you know, there's miscommunication somewhere, and then you start talking. There's a reason why it's in every literature. We've all experienced it as a kid too. Fight with somebody and then they're your friend because, you know, you have that moment of roughness and you're like, all right, we can figure it out. I'm worried about the future where people try to mow this shit down, communication down, and we start getting like that clinical communication shit, you know, where George Carlin had the skit about post-war traumatic syndrome and PTSD and shell shock and how words lose their hook and their heft. But yeah, it's a weird one.
I mean, it's also challenging because a lot of it is dependent on emotional intelligence, which can be severely lacking for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like learned patterns, because, you know, with you guys, we've talked so much over the years, right? That I have a lot of context about how you react to certain things. So about a topic or a way of speaking or, you know, a certain thing, I know that it won't go well, maybe with you, Silver, or with you, Carrick, right? If you know, if I do things a certain way. So much about how we talk is actually shaped by that common knowledge of what has worked in the past, what hasn't, what people know, what context they have, what they don't.
I mean, the same goes for games where they're from. You get context nationally, like China with, you know, Black Myth Wukong or whatever. You get different, and you'll get somebody else could see one of those and go, you know, that seems blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, that's, I mean, for them, that's their culture. That's exact, you know, that's like, that's their thing. And it's painful for everybody to come together. I want it to happen. But I can say when I get a group of people together, I would say I experience this minimum 50 times a day. right now, whether it be inside of work, inside of the Discord, outside of work, personal stuff, where almost every discussion I'm going into, I'm like, here we go. You know, even sometimes in groups of people where you get two people, you know, you guys have had this maybe where you have a group of friends and one guy, he fits with four, but not the fifth. And you don't know why, but there's that communication, you know, and you're just like, no, this is going to suck. You know, like, do we all want to go? And you're sort of hoping that person refuses your trip, but you still want to invite them because you like them, but you know that the other person on this side doesn't, or they have that sort of like back and forth that can be uncomfortable. But yeah, it's weird, man. I don't know. I don't think it'll ever be fixed. I think that's fine. I mean, like I said, as long as it's not bullying, as long as you're not being a piece of shit, I'm okay with people making mistakes on stuff.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think that's a part of life. There's no, I mean, unless
it's
we
part
get,
of being human, for
yeah,
sure.
dude, unless we get like
It's also
Elon Musk chips in.
Learn boundaries is by pushing and learning. Oh no, that's a place I can't go. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can go anywhere, but you know, I'm cool like that. What else do we got? Anything else? Is that about it for? It's been dude. We covered. We're getting good.
I can put out a big question. I guess we're now 25 years roughly into the 21st century, a quarter of the way. What do you think was the biggest achievement of mankind in the previous century, in the 20th?
You mean from directly from 1901 to 1999?
Yeah.
Okay. I actually feel like there's a shit ton, but like achievement.
I can go with mine. The eradication of smallpox.
Yeah, mine was going to be medical too.
Probably so much happened as well in that, because that was a huge
2 wars.
You know,
fucking
complete eradication of smallpox. Complete.
Till some jackass
all over the world
ruins it.
Every single country.
It's funny because the first thing I thought
the
about
logistics of it are beyond mind-boggling.
Yeah, and that was just vaccine based, or how did we nail that? Yeah,
that was through vaccines. Yeah.
Because the first thing that came to mind was like man in space, right? That like moon landing. But I guess that, I don't know, is that such a big deal?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we never came back. Dude, it is, right?
It does. The reason why it's a big deal.
It only exists in laboratories today. Yeah.
Exactly. And the other thing that's huge about the moon landing, regardless of anything else, is there is a hopeful attitude of we did go there, we did land on something, it did drive people.
Or did we?
A particular thought process, and people are very like everybody wants to be all cool and be like, I'm real as real can be, but you all need a little hope. And so, or a little like thing to aspire to and be like, dude, we got to the moon. That's pretty fucking wicked. It's not going to work for everybody, but it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's also what the eradication of smallpox is to me. Like all the countries coming together and saying, we can actually do this. We can actually carry this through. And we did.
Did we do penicillin in the 20th? Or was
that was World War II. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also...
Like I would say, I mean, I think Hubble, pretty fucking amazing, you know, for like, it's just that science and astronomy keep changing. So sometimes it's hard to say we discovered stuff because then we discover stuff that breaks the discovery that we had with Hubble. But and the fact that we repaired it, I still am to this day will always be amazed that like they completely fucked up the mirror and they were still able to get up there and be like, okay, in space, we're going to completely fix this situation and turn and to have some amazing discoveries. But there's a lot in like, but I think most of mine are medical too, man. Like even like, well, CRISPR wasn't in 1999 or prior, but.
I think also an honorary mention to like genetically modified corn, to where we're able to grow crops in places that we never could before. And so are able to feed so many more people.
Man, I can't think of anything that's like technical. I mean, obviously like semiconductor is pretty amazing because it does touch everything. It literally makes every other thing possible, or most other things possible.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
Right.
It's pretty crazy to think that like somebody had, big old massive computer in like the Atlas rockets or whatever that, was less than your cell phone.
The radio as well, right?
Yeah, radios. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would probably say
Discovery of radio
semiconductor because there's really nothing that works without it. Every other thing that I would mention would be related because it would be built on it. So the idea to go away from mechanical computering and like calculations to somebody figuring out that with electricity and blah, 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 you start going like, okay, we can do this, and then micro switches and stuff. So I would say, yeah. Semiconductors were brought here from space at Area 51. Yeah, if it still happened between 1901 and 1999, still ours, so fuck it. Still works.
There you go.
What do you have any, Johnny? It's a pretty hard question.
No, it was probably for me First Man of the Moon.
Yeah.
Because that stuff I view it as like the coolest thing. But yeah, I mean the health stuff like penicillin probably maybe some of the biggest.
Dude, it's pretty cool too. Like when we were kids, all the shit that you would see in science magazines, they'd be like, well, it's flatly impossible to mix two DNAs. That went for years. I mean,
yeah.
Well, it went up until it didn't. So it went forevers until it was proven wrong. But I remember reading, they were like, not going to happen, not going to happen. We can't do this. It's impossible to do this, do this. Then they figured out, well, what if we mix it with a virus and we do this? And suddenly you're like, shit, that works. Let's make monkey human hybrids, which shouldn't be the initial first stage jump, but I think most of us really want to see
the cloning of Dolly and all this stuff that came from
that. Exactly. And by the way, I legitimately have read many times the National Enquirers that would talk about this stuff in the future, and they'd be like, it's impossible. My grandmother collected them. You'd be reading a National Enquirer, be like, oh, we want to mix this. And then some scientists come on and be like, well, that's physically impossible. We can't do this. And at the time, it was what's funny about that is I think a lot of people forget it was physically impossible at that time, meaning they could not physically make it happen. So when they say it's not physically possible, it truly isn't. They're not able to do it. And then once they start, once miniaturization comes in and all this stuff, now it's physically possible. That's the thing with science. A lot of people are like, well, science changed their idea. It's like, yeah, dickhead. That's how facts work. Like, Jesus Christ. We have a Hush Al Ghul, $10 super chat. What is one irrational thing, yet to you it's rational about video games? When I play a third person, I have to choose a girl character. I can't stare at a guy's ass for 100 hours. What game has you just staring at an ass? I feel like that's a hentai game. But they're not focused on the ass.
No.
Like, I don't think there's a single game it would focus on the top of the body. Like most of them focus waist up. They're certainly not like fucking staring at the crack like 3D glasses on.
I mean, Stellar Blade.
I will say, some of the Tomb Raider games with some of the crawling and whatnot do focus in quite
pretty close to the crack.
Sure, like Lara. Nier had some angles that were purposely created.
So what's a irrational thing to you, but what's an irrational thing?
Right, it's irrational, but rational to you, I think was the question.
Yeah. So it's rational to us, but it's like irrational to the world in games. It's rational to me. It's irrational to the world.
I think that it's irrational to dislike a game for just how it looks. Because a rational person would probably engage with it and, judge it by the more so how it plays rather than how it looks. But I'm someone who I do require games to look in a way that I find compelling. Like Vampire Survivor is a game that I recognize is an amazing game at a rational level, but I don't really enjoy it. Yeah. And there's been a lot of those.
Yeah.
And I think there's someone just being more objective would still enjoy those games more.
I think probably the levels I go to for immersion in video games would be irrational to most people.
Like you play hard mode, no HUD.
Yeah, no fast travel, that I bother walking rather than running. Stuff like that.
I believe that's why you're on the podcast in the first place, because you and I talked about that back when I was just doing Patreon. We didn't even have Discord. And that was something we all talked about, was like what we, maybe I did a review or something, but like every time I talk to somebody about no HUD or turning the difficulty up high so that you can turn it down low if you have to, but starting out on, you know, and why a harder difficulty might be better on a game or might, you know, make you enjoy it a little bit more. Get a lot of people who are like, I don't game to have it be difficult. I'm like, okay. All right, well, that's one way to do it. Hope you don't treat sex the same way you fucked, and I don't mean in a good way. I don't really have anything that's irrational. I mean, I do. I don't, yeah. Nothing pops up because to me, it's pretty rational. So I'm trying to think of something that's like irrational.
Is it irrational to play a game at a higher difficulty out of maybe pride or, you know, because you want to prove something to yourself?
No, it's not. Really? Are we going that easy with irrational? Because if it's irrational, I always choose blue for my characters in customization games. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's just a choice.
I don't know. I feel like that's not irrational. That's just irrational. Means
it's your subjective choice based on.
Irrational is what you described earlier. You do 4 or 5 things that make it super hard, but not just like turn it on hard. You know, you add shit to games like I do. You're like, I'm adding a rule to this game, so I have to play it a certain way. That's irrational. That's what I do. I know that's irrational. That's what you do. So that would be irrational, but just putting it on hard wouldn't be, right? Like, I mean, well,
I mean, to Johnny's point, for me, it depends on why you put it on hard. If you're putting it on hard out of pride, then to me, that's irrational. That's overriding your own enjoyment, because you aren't actually enjoying the game and playing the game for a completely arbitrary reason, which is to me irrational. And I've done that repeatedly and been frustrated by my own irrationality with it, and playing something out of a sense of foolish pride.
That's
rather than because I actually enjoy the game.
Bob $2 super chat, started KCD2 recently, 40 hours in, fantastic game. Yeah, that game is great.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a bunch of shit I do is irrational to some people. I guess it depends on the level. But when it comes to gaming, though, dude, I think gaming's pretty rational. Like, I mean, people's choices aren't. That kind of stuff gets really weird, but we're not really talking about that right now.
Yeah.
I guess
it's also maybe...
No, that doesn't even work.
I think the word is also a bit weird, rational, irrational for games. I usually think about, is it like a healthy way to engage with the hobby or unhealthy? And to me, something like playing out of pride, like I was saying, I've done that in the past, and I view it now as an unhealthy tendency that some of us have. I think that you should play to have fun, really. Not to just be able to, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's really at the heart of the word game, isn't it?
It used to be. But I think that is what actually is causing us issues, is we're connected to the old ways of doing stuff. Not everything you want to do is going to be fun. And just because you're playing a game that's not fun, I mean, it just depends. Like,
no, that's fair.
Sure.
It could
honestly be satisfying in other ways.
Yeah, not only that, but I feel there's a lot of weird pseudo-psychological shit that goes on where people use a bunch of words for psychology of games, but don't really actually understand what the fuck they're talking about around this kind of thing. For example, you consistently hear somebody say, is it healthy? Oh, I told myself I was playing too many games. Is it healthy? And Johnny and I talked about this last week, where I'm like, dude, I don't quite get why games is still, to this fucking day, the only entertainment
category
that is a different category. I read too much this weekend. You fucking don't hear that? Oh, I listened to too much music this weekend. My God, it's unhealthy. But for whatever, and you're still sitting on your ass. And with a game, you might be training your abilities. You might be more caloric. You might be doing puzzles. You might be but for whatever reason, people are still under this sheltered bunker-like mentality that it's shameful. And I find that weird. And then you'll have somebody be like, well, what if it's addicting? Ignore games for a second. Anything can be addicting. Why do games have to be sheltered out and put in this fucking hardened bunker to be used in this discussion? It's idiotic, man. And it makes everybody who say it, who even talks about it like that, sound like fucking idiots. Because you are separating it and pretending that that is magically different than all these other activities that you can be addicted to. And we all know it's not good to be addicted to something. Yeah. But when you start separating everything out and I swear to God, it's the same shame people felt when they were kids and they mentioned they like games and somebody looked down on them. Sure. And it's now, instead of, people try to pretend they're okay with it. They're like, I play games, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's almost like everybody's still got that seed of doubt. It just comes out in different ways. Does it come out because you tell everybody really loudly that you do it? I'm a bitch, and so everybody has to believe that you're going to be a bitch to them. I'm a gamer. Okay, we get it, dude. Great, you play games. Who fucking cares? It's just this weird conversation around it right now.
It is. Is it irrational to watch Kitchen Nightmares for the third time in a row?
No, dude, I mean, if somebody, how are we in a fucking environment where we consistently tell everybody it's okay to do what you want, and then we turn around in the same fucking conversation and tell them they can't do what they want?
You gotta game less.
Like, it just bothers me, man. It's so weird. And you see this with everything, especially in gaming. You see all of these times where it's like we edge towards, and we do it all. Oh, man, these guys can make anything. I love when this company goes out and they try something experimental. Oh my God, there's not quick save. This game fucking sucks. It's just there's a tit for tat that goes on. And especially that one isn't the greatest example, but especially for the psychological stuff, it just fucking frustrates me. As you can tell, I'm getting mad about it. A1 Nangle, $5 super chat. Doesn't need to be rational or irrational. Do what makes you happy if you're thinking clearly. Yeah, if. That's like legitimately what we're talking about, is the if. There are, in anything in life, you can become addicted to it in a bad way. What I don't like is that added shit where for some reason, if you have 10 people in a room, the one group that will self-whip themselves are gamers for some weird reason. And we've had it in our own Discord. I feel like
there are stamp collectors who just sit around going through their collection all day.
Or train. Like, the joke when I was growing up was train collectors in their attic, right? There was this, like the overarching psychology around a train collector.
Or the historical miniatures reenactors.
Yeah, I don't know, man. As you can tell, it just frustrates. There's something about it whenever I hear it. I'm just like, I just don't get why we're still here. Like,
where they become obsessed to what is almost an addiction, or could be said to be an addiction.
And we have our own choices on what you can be obsessed by. If you're a sports star and you're obsessed, for sure, you're a star.
I mean,
go star.
Or a sports fan.
Yeah.
Like, you're a sports fan and you live and breathe for your team. Like, you're completely
obnoxious,
by it.
Obsessive. You say we when you had nothing to fucking do with it. Like, imagine if I were playing a game. Tell me how weird this is. Sports, Packers are playing. And some jackass in a fucking Packers shirt will be like, we almost pulled through. And they're sitting at their fucking house. Imagine if I was reading a book and I got to the end of the book and I said, we almost pulled through on this book. You guys would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're not connected to that. I'm not connected to that. I'm not connected to games. But for some reason in sports, there's that creepy ass shit. And it's, by the way, I've seen it with it's not even just the team sports. I saw it with a tennis recently where I heard somebody going like, yeah, we almost won this, this event. And I was like, for tennis?
Yeah. When people take pride of something their country did, it's like, sorry, didn't see you in the front lines.
Didn't see you battling it out.
Yeah.
No, I will say there are, like, to I maybe play devil's advocate a little bit. I will say there are degrees to this, I think. Where tennis is definitely like an extreme.
It's very extreme, and I use it for that reason.
A big part of sports fandom is a sense of community and of it being communal, and especially in European sports where sports clubs are sports associations rather than sort of like private
clubs
teams,
or teams,
the way they are in the United States for the most part. So their sports associations are very heavily based in a city or a borough or an area where there's a very large sense of community that carries through the team. And in those instances, the we makes sense to me. Because the fans are really part of the team. They help often maintain the stadiums. They help pay the salaries of the players. They are part of the team in a sense. So in that sense, I understand it. I've never like as a sports fan, I have never said we for the teams I've supported, but I've also understood frequently the people who do, but I've also frequently come across cases like you described, Carrick, where you go, wait, yeah, you don't have you don't really have a place of ownership to that achievement.
I get the team thing, and it does make me like sort of understand it, but then I guess when I think of team, I think of people who help one another, and the team isn't helping that person if like they can't pay their bills. Like
that's very true.
It only goes a particular way. And
it goes one way.
Yeah, it's a really bad, greasy ass, nasty relationship that the more people think of team, the more it becomes one-sided. But they get their enjoyment from the game. So in a way, you could say the team is giving, like the real team, the actual people doing the thing are giving them the energy by winning or playing. So that's the support that they get from the team. And then by buying tickets, you're giving support back.
And in the European context, the result is often less important than the actual stadium experience where you go and interact with the other fans.
Dude, I think that's worldwide. It happens even, I know we're not as crazy as like soccer stuff that you see, but even the NFL games or the college games I've gone to. Yeah. That's the event. I mean, the team could probably not show up, and everybody there would still have a good time if you just had a couple kids race across the field line. They'd be like, good enough, shit. Yeah.
But that feeling of association and team gets a bit crazy because someone in your country did something, you feel a sense of accomplishment. Like it. So, some Danish person might say, dude, we created Lego. Like, sorry, didn't see you in the... Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
does that happen?
Swedes are proud of IKEA, like there are all these things.
Okay.
I mean, some people, I'm not saying everybody, Silver is not out there, touting his Lego accomplishments.
Is like we
only when I'm talking to Swedes.
Yeah, right. Rubbing it in more. No, it's an interesting discussion. It just bothers me because like I said, it's weird that games consistently it's like, we're talking outside the box, man.
Sure.
We've got all this growth, and then everybody does the exact. And by the way, I mean everybody. Every podcast I listen to, somebody's like shame spiraling. And the big problem I have is there's really only two ways out of it. One, you shouldn't be doing it. As in, you should stop talking like that. Or two, you're so easily, I guess, controlled by whatever thing that is that I'm just listening to a live journal now where you're talking about all the shit you're addicted to. Like there's now that is pretty black and white. And and I brought up the tennis as like, because that was real, but I brought it up because it was so weird. So obviously people talk about it in more gray areas. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's odd because I see one social signal all the time. Be free, man. Like what you like. Man, you need to do what you do. You need to be just as independent as possible. But if you don't fit your independence into an exact group called fucking independent, then you're not independent anymore, which is so weird. And it happens all the time. I mean, you literally see it daily. It's just odd. But back off the diatribe for a second. Let's see. So we covered the games. We covered science a little bit. Cover the reviews. I think that's it.
Yeah. So. You did your video for Games of
October.
Yeah.
I felt bad while doing it because I felt like I'd worked too long on that video. I felt a little guilty. Felt a little bit of a shame spiral. But I'm okay with it now. I felt like I was gaming a little too much when I made that video.
Yeah. Too much gaming, Carrick. Got to pull back on the gaming there. It's unhealthy.
Dude,
yeah, you don't want to become obsessive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's did that video. Next month we got a ton of stuff. We got Battlefield. It's just got a bunch of shit. It's gonna be crazy. And then November. Let's see. So next month's October, November. We've got a couple. December. Are there any big games in December? I don't think I have any. Are there?
But I don't remember which one.
Did something get moved into December? I feel like something got moved recently into December. When's Bloodlines coming out?
This month? No, October rather. I think.
Do we want to make a bet?
Oh yeah, Metroid 4 is December still.
Metroid 4 is December.
Okay.
Yeah.
Switch 2 and
Charlie.
1? Is that on both?
No, I think it's only on Switch 2, yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I'm not sure, though.
Northern Berserker, $3 super chat says, has Silver visited Norse runestones across Denmark?
Not across Denmark, like not across the entire country, but some of them, yeah. Like the famous Hardbottets runestone, which is basically the marker of the first Danish king. From over 1,000 years old.
It's crazy that when you explain it, it sounds so majestic, and I bet you it's a fucking rock with a little tiny flag on it. That's like, here's the last piece of the statue.
It's like it's a large boulder with rune engravings,
inscriptions or engravings on it.
Yeah.
Talking about that particular event.
King, yeah, and
cool.
His proclamation of being the first Christian king of Denmark. Harold Bluetooth.
And this guy was asking me to show my guitar while you guys talk. I'll just...
SBZ says, last thoughts on Kojima's new game.
Sorry. I did actually, when I was a kid, I think I've talked about this before, but there's an island where my grandparents lived, and I would go there in the summer sometimes and play around as a kid. And there were old Iron Age tombs that you could go into.
Oh, really?
And we would play hide and seek and whatnot in old burial hills. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Damn, we just had more rednecks. No matter where we went, there was more rednecks. You go over here, there's rednecks, and then you go out into the woods, there's a redneck, and they just have larger and larger caliber guns the deeper you go into the forest. I'm just joking. We didn't even. It's funny because I always joke about rednecks. We really didn't have too many, at least not what I'm seeing replicated in TV shows and shit.
Yeah,
we were asked real quick. SBZ $2 super chat said, last one, thoughts on Kojima's new game? I don't know. I was not aware that Kojima announced a new game. The only thing I know of is he's doing OD and
yeah, I'm assuming he's talking about OD's trailer that dropped.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because they didn't show the gameplay, so it's kind of the thematic of what the game might be that we saw.
Like the first Death Stranding trailer.
Oh, really? Yeah. My thoughts are that I haven't seen his new game.
I thought it looked good.
But I mean, if it's not his game, then it was an art piece almost, I guess, inspired by his new game.
I mean, you know how he is. He's making games like movies, kind of.
I haven't seen his new game then, so I have no clue. We'll have to. I mean, dude, how long is it going to be too? I feel like this was announced Xbox, right? I think at an Xbox event, I believe OD was announced because Microsoft had done that deal with them to have it shown or at least announced.
Was it last year?
No, I was going to say, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, actually. So I was going to say maybe we're closer to, some kind of event where we get to see it.
And since the start, it was a lot about the graphics, right? I think the first thing we saw was the faces. Wasn't that the trailer we saw where they had some close-up of faces? That wasn't
Hellblade you're talking about?
Really realistic? No.
Okay. I feel like a lot of games have shown faces a lot. So when you say that, I'm because like
Quantic Dream did that as well.
Quantic Dream did that as well. So yeah. No, I don't remember anything about it. That'll be I mean, I won't care until we get real hands on it, right? I think that'll be the. I mean, and dude, I don't know, a horror game from him. Not quite sure if there's anything like that I'm jumping at, but if it turns out good, hey, it turns out good. That'd be awesome. What else do we got before we wrap this up? We got anything amazing? Any cool news? Any cool personal stuff? Have a good one, Cyanide. Anything you're looking forward to in a couple of weeks? I'm looking forward to Tron, the new Tron movie.
Ooh, yeah.
Fucking cannot wait. Gonna go see
I'm
that.
looking forward to watching Fantastic Four and Superman this weekend.
Oh, this week. You're double tapping that?
I'm either, it depends. We might hit two or maybe just one. I want to watch with my family, those two in general.
Just do it early so they don't turn into pumpkins halfway through the movie, because that would be weird. Like, what do you do?
Oh, yeah, true.
Do you watch the movie and you're like...
It's like, oh, we're done. Okay.
Pumpkin time. You guys get the fuck out of my house. And your mom's like, but they're fighting the bad guy. And you're like, out. Get out.
Now we'll eat something which prolongs the pumpkin.
The pumpkin pushes
status.
Pushes the pumpkin out a little bit farther.
Yeah.
Okay, copy that.
Food in, pumpkin out.
Yeah. Tron. I do want to see Fantastic Four as well. I'd like to find a good book, but
dude, I'm finally finishing
books, so.
the big Sanderson tome that I've been reading forever that I keep telling you about. I'm finally finishing it probably tomorrow.
Done.
And then I can move on to something else.
What a breath of fresh air, man. To like you'll be done with it. You won't have to hope I'm going to pay attention when you talk about it. I'm just joking.
True.
But no,
talking about common knowledge. I know that you know that I know.
That's not hidden. That's definitely known. But no, seriously, that'll be cool when you get,
yeah.
Especially when you get.
Always nice to wrap up a big, series. Yeah.
Yep. It feels good to look back at it and go, okay, from the starting, to now, how did it all come together? What about you, Silver? Anything before we twist off this mortal coil?
Looking forward to playing Hades.
Yeah.
Last. I've been waiting for it to hit the 1.0. So
that's pretty sweet to finally get that game. Yeah. And you waited? Yeah. Did you wait?
I waited. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's cool. So that to you is a brand new, brand new title. Which is that's cool.
And I haven't really followed any of the early access either, so I'm mostly blind on it.
I think that's better sometimes. Carrick's not read the best book ever written, The End of All Evil by Jeremy Locke. I don't even know who the fuck Jeremy Locke is. I don't know why I would think that was the best book ever either. Or I have read it and you're teasing me. I'm going to look it up right now. Let me check.
It's a philosopher.
Is it?
Writer.
Then I probably find him.
The guy Locke and Lost is definitely.
Pretentious shit. All right. So that's it for us. I hope you guys all have an amazing weekend. As always, I want to thank these guys, but I want to thank all you guys for watching the videos, spreading the word. It does help, especially, as shit goes a little south with YouTube, things get a little weird, gets a little uncomfortable. It's cool that you guys are around to watch it. We also have a bunch of cool videos coming up. Johnny's going to be not streaming. No, wait, you won't be streaming this weekend, right? Because you got other shit going on. Movies.
I might stream some Borderlands 4 with some of the community.
Won't be
We're
streaming.
Pretty close to finishing the.
Definitely not streaming.
Yeah.
Sure. So he'll be streaming tomorrow. Are you on your channel or just like fully streaming?
Yeah, Johnny plays live on Twitch. We'll probably be playing Borderlands 4, finishing that.
Excellent. That is it for us, man. I hope you guys all have incredible weekends. Take care of yourselves. By the way, don't feel guilty about playing some games. Who gives a fuck? Right? Or
True.
Feel really guilty. And the only way to get rid of it is almost like a prayer, but you send $5 to ACG's patron.
That will help for sure.
It will help for sure.
With whatever you're going through, by the way.
Well, you can then join a support group for other.
Yes, exactly. Dude, it's all coming around. It's okay. Anyway, peace out, everybody. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend.
Bye-bye.
Take care.